Hello everyone, welcome back to the Prague Masters. I'm Soumya and we are going to cover round 8 of the tournament today. And joining me soon is one of my favorite people. So I'm really excited for today's commentary to not only watch the games, but also to discuss it with this person. So I hope you're also equally thrilled to follow the penultimate round of the tournament. We have Guki playing against his former second, Vincent Keymer, in this game. Guki is playing with the white pieces. He's taken only he has 1 hour 11 minutes on his clock right now. Oh my god, I'm really shocked to see that. So he's taken very less time to cover 25 moves in the game, while Vincent is down to 25 minutes. So it's a huge time advantage for Guki. Also, it means that he's in a familiar position. He's in a position he's looked at in the morning or before with his second, Gayu, who's also in Prague, by the way. So let's go through the game. Let's see what has happened in the game so far. So the players opened the game with e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, and Vincent going for the classical setup in the Spanish with a6, bishop a4, knight f6, short castle, and bishop e7. Here, D3 is a very, very popular move in the recent times. Last 15, 16 years, D3 has almost become the main line. But traditionally, Rook E1 was the move played by all the all the world champions in their world championship matches. Let's say Garry Kasparov and all the legendary players like Anand. So Rook E1 played B5, Bishop B3, short castle. And here there is a slight option for for black. Black can go for d6 here first, or go for short castle like Vincent did in his game, keeping the option of replying to white's c3, which was played in the game, with d5, the martial attack. It is a pawn sacrifice in the opening in order to open up the files for these two beautiful bishops. After e into d5, which again happened in the game, knight d5, knight takes, and rook takes pawn. So white is now a pawn up. And here, black would love to play the move bishop d6, but oops, it hangs the knight on d5. So black makes a preparatory move with c6, with the idea to play bishop d6 next. And look at the white king with queen h4 coming in, bishop g4 coming in next, knight to f4. It can get very dangerous, but it's also an extremely popular opening by both sides. And here, white's main idea is to actually go d4, take control of the center with his pawn. But another very, very popular move here is d3, which was chosen by Guki. So he's not committing the pawn to d4, which can allow white certain new ideas. So d3 played on the board, and black goes for a5, which is again not that that much of the common move here. Here, bishop d6 is the most common move, but a5 has also been played in games. So a5 by Vincent blitzed out, and Guki replied knight d2 after 4 minutes. So definitely a5, a small surprise for white here. White's main problem in his position is his lack of development, right? Knight b1 पे है, bishop c1 पे है, rook a1 पे है, whereas black के pieces already काफी develop हो चुके हैं. Knight d5 पे एक monster knight है, and after bishop d6, queen h4, ये bishop b g4 पे जल्दी जल्दी आ जाएगा. So white has to be quick with his own development. So white goes for knight to d2, and black replied with another aggressive move here. By the way, knight d2 के बाद मेरे डेटाबेस में कोई भी गेम्स नहीं है. So knight d2, a novelty by Guki. And Vincent here. And Vincent here played a4 after a thought of 5 minutes here. So definitely knight d2, not the most expected move for Vincent, but जैसे कि हमने देखा a5 itself is not a common idea. तो already हम थोड़े unknown territory में आ चुके हैं. And after knight d2 a4, white has an option. Bishop give up करना है कि रखना है? आप क्या choose करते हैं यहाँ पे chat? अरे hi Dhruva. Dhruva Tota is in the chat, my good friend, international master, and maybe the most recent international master from India. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dhruva. So he says, like kar do dosto. Yes, everyone, please like the stream jaldi jaldi so that more people can join in. And चलो देखते हैं chat में क्या हो रहा है. And I really want to know what are your thoughts. अब bishop e5 खेलेंगे या bishop c2? I want to tell you, both the moves are equally good. Which one will you choose? Finally, Hindi में तो हुई commentary. Yeah, we will switch to Hindi, maybe Marathi. You never know. This stream is full of surprises. So, oh, Dhruva is saying the latest I am from India is Rohit S, who also happens to be the younger brother of Grandmaster Arjun Kalyan. Yes, I did see that news on ChessBase India's news website. So, definitely great news. बहुत जल्दी जल्दी add up हो रहे IMs and GMs India की kitty में. And we have some answers in the chat, and everyone wants to play the move played by Guki, bishop to c2. Let's preserve our bishop. But then you want to know, ये bishop आखिर c2 पे कर क्या रहा है? बच तो गया, but ये pawn है उसके सामने. So what exactly is Guki's idea here? यहाँ पे Vincent thought for 10 more minutes and goes for the aggressive a3. It is clearly a very strong move because pawn into a3 here, guys, will be met with what? The first tactical question to the chat. I'm not going to make the move. I want to see if you are all alert today. B into a3 will be met with which move here, chat? Oh, ध्रुवा के लिए bishop d5 और knight f3 ज्यादा natural था उस position में. That's interesting to know कि कैसे same position में different players approach it differently. क्योंकि मेरा भी instinct bishop c2 का ही था. I hate giving up my Spanish bishop. I want to keep it alive as long as possible so that it can eventually create some attacks against the black position. And imagine, once we play d4 here, our bishop is going to be so strong on this diagonal, and it will be white, not black, who attacks the opponent's king. Let's see what are the options. Chat के दिमाग में क्या क्या चल रहा है? अच्छा, Dhruva wants to. Dhruva has a very interesting move, which is also great, I suppose. But Murugan going for the most natural way to reply B into A3, which is, 1 minute. Let's fix this. Yeah, which is knight takes C3. When the pawn moved away from B2, it actually hung the pawn on C. A3 would be met with knight C3. The pawn is hanging, and we can later combination of my mouse and the king. So bishop f6 is a big threat, but Dhruva here also suggests another interesting move which also works, which is bishop f6 first, threatening the rook on e5, which is also great, by the way. Which is also great because the rook, once it goes back, now you can take on c3 with the knight, and at some point the bishop rook on a1 will be hanging in some lines. For example, like after rook, I don't know what's happening. Give me a minute, guys. I'll just fix my mouse and come back. Maybe we can go to the main screen, producer G. Yeah, all good now. So let's come back to the other screen, producer G. I'm back, and so is our mouse. And yes, after rook e1, black would have this tactic with knight takes c3. And now after queen moves, still. Okay. Guys, can you tell me in the chat what could be the issue? Why is my mouse acting up? Maybe some tech experts in the chat can help me. Knight c3. Let's say हम यहाँ पे queen f3 खेलते हैं. One more question for the chat before we go ahead with the game. आप क्या खेलोगे यहाँ पर? No, but this is the best net I have, apparently. Okay. Okay, so we'll switch to the mainstream while we fix the internet issue. Let's do that. And let's go to the player cams and come back to this position. Meanwhile, all awesome. So yeah, now my internet is slightly smoother. अरे ध्रुव, I know you'll find it. ये हमारे chat के लिए question था, films के लिए नहीं, but thank you for participating. Voice is also lagging. Grim is pointing it out. Acha, and now is it better, everything? Or is it as bad as before? It is fine now. Okay. You can tell me in the chat as well if something is lagging. We will try to fix it from our end. Hello, Anu. It's nice to hear ताई मराठी आहेस का? आणि कोणी उत्तरच नाही दिलं इकडे. काय चाललंय? Adik Lenin says knight to e2. Which is, of course, the best move in the position because after knight e2, rook takes. नाही काहीतरी इश्यू आहेच आहे माझा नेटचा. Rook takes. And bishop takes a1. Do you think we can, do you think it's an issue with the browser? Producer G. Everything is okay. So maybe I'll switch my net. I switched my net. Is this better? Okay. Okay. There's a lot of lag apparently. ठीक है. देखते हैं क्या कर सकते हैं इसका. Yeah, so this was a cool tactic in the position, which of course did not happen because Guki did not blunder with pawn into a3. He goes for rook e1 in the position, getting out of these tactics with bishop f6 and getting ready also maybe for knight e4 or d4. So rook e1 on the board, and Vincent replied with the most aggressive move once more, going for b4. So he wants to break open the position on the queen side or force white to make serious commitments. And Guki replied with pawn to c4. All of these moves are not that easy, but Guki is still in his preparation. He has spent only 6 minutes so far with 1 hour 24 on his clock, while Vincent down to 1 hour 2 minutes. So yeah, Dhruva, as you say, it was Gukesh's prep. Maybe he barely spent time for a long time. Exactly. Definitely some cool prep by the world champion here. और एक बात मैं बोलना चाहूंगी, आज ही मैं मेरे सून टू बी co-host से डिस्कस कर रही थी कि nowadays the player's attitude is not to get a big advantage from the opening but to simply get a playable game क्योंकि सारे ही players के पास equal engine access है and the engines have become very strong. Everyone is working super hard on their openings, and so the idea is to simply be able to get a playable position out of the opening rather than outplay your opponent in the opening itself. So Guki going for an obscure sideline in the marshal as a reply to Vincent's obscure sideline, and we have a new position on the board. So Guki goes for the move c4, very much in his prep. And here, Vincent did not sacrifice a piece, but he did ignore the attack on his knight and went for the move bishop f6. A very cool move indeed. Guys, would you take the knight on d5 here, white say? Jaldi jaldi bolo. And there have been a lot of moves in the game, so we'll quickly go to the live position. Jaldi jaldi bolo, c into d5 possible hai ki nahi? Oh, Chandar Color Studio, thank you, says now it's much better. ठीक है, thank you. क्यों नहीं possible है? No बोल के छोड़ दिया. Producer G, is my net better right now? Okay. We'll yeah, we'll go to the live position in this game and then switch to Aravind's game soon. So yeah, c into d2. No, guys, not bishop into b2. Not bishop into d2. c into d5 will be met with अरे नजर लग गई. थोड़ा सा odd ही है. I'm not able to move very quickly. A into b2 here and a double attack on the rook and the bishop. So yeah, serious problems for white as well as for my internet here. Rook b1 would be met with pawn into bishop, and so black did not, white did not go for this. He went for d4 instead. Yeah, d4, a very cool move here. मुझे ये move बहुत पसंद आई when I was watching the game live. d4, voluntarily giving up a pawn, but it also opens up the bishop's diagonal. So there was a very cool tactic here, which did happen in the game. So we will see how the game continued because it's not that easy to spot. Bishop d4 was met with pawn into d5, picking up the knight, and after a into b2, this was a similar tactic as we bishop b2, bishop into b2. Here we see khol diya hai, and bishop b2 was met with bishop takes h7, an amazing move, so easy to miss. But Guki well into his preparation, king h7, queen c2, king g8, queen into b2. Got a very, very playable position out of the opening, but also 22 moves are already over. So ye opening nahi, middle game hi hai. Queen b2 and queen d5 would be met with queen into b4. And it was equalish, but Vincent chooses to keep the b4 pawn alive with c5. So he's allowed white's pawn on d5 to also remain, but it is isolated. So Vincent's point is that I'll soon pick it up. Guki says, no, I'll put my knight to c4. And after queen d5, I have this cool fork on which position? Grim Fandango is asking me to keep myself hydrated. Am I going too fast? Absolutely. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Got it. Queen into D5 will be met with the knight fork. आज हमारे co-host को ही screen share करना पड़ेगा. मेरा नेट तो बहुत ही दिक्कत दे रहा है. We are waiting, but till then we will. D5 would be a huge blunder because of the knight B6 fork. Well done, A, B, C, D, E. Or oh, I'm freezing. I'm also freezing. Yeah, maybe I'll remove my video then. Producer. Yeah, let's remove my video and we can go to the main screen. So, okay. So, knight c4 was a cool tactic here by Guki, and he can also later push the pawn to d6 because abhi knight on c4 outpost pe hai. It will protect the passed pawn. It's all great here for white. And black plays, oops, I'm going too fast now. Kabhi kabhi ho jata hai. And yeah, black replied bishop a6. So white went knight to e3. White does not want to exchange the minor pieces with rook a c1. Ek to d5 pawn be hanging hai, but even queen b3 would be met with queen d5. So honestly, it was not even possible. But let's say queen c2 khelte hum. And bishop c4, queen c4. This is also not very ideal. We want to keep the dynamic imbalance alive by knight e3. And black played bishop to d3. By the way, यहाँ पे हमने शायद live position देखी थी with 25 minutes for Vincent and 1 hour 20 for Guki, 24 moves already made. So let's go quickly. ये game बहुत जल्दी जा रहा है आगे. We really want to also cover Aravind's game as well. Bishop d3, rook to d1. I think Graham, उन्होंने बोला था ना सागर ने वो कहाँ पे है? I think he is in Bangalore. He did mention this on the stream, and there's also a new video on the Chess Base India channel with his friend. So maybe you can check that out and know more about Sagar's whereabouts. So rook d1 on the board, the bishop is attacked, and instead of moving it away, Black says, I want to keep it alive on d3 and goes rook to a3. Very, very good chess by Vincent here, going for activity more than anything else. Also, let's not forget, he did sacrifice a pawn in the opening. So he is a pawn down in this position. So it's very important for Black to keep his pieces active in order to maintain compensation. Nahi to advantage white ho jayega. So white replied with rook a, not rook a c1, but d6. Ooh, nice tactic. Can you spot it? Why do you call him Guki? Yeah. I just, yeah, I think it's a cute nickname. A lot of people call him Guki. What do you prefer to call him? Ankit. Nice, very nice. Anu, two alert. Chess bots A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I retracted their message. But the move is knight c4 with a fork. The knight cannot be picked up because the queen on d6 would hang eventually. So nice tactics here by Guki. d6, rook e8 was played. And Gukesh, oh my god. Guys, Guki here went for the most unexpected move in the position. d6, by the way, was played after some thought. So already Guki is out of his prep here. Very fair enough. I think 26 moves ho chuke hai. Kabhi na kabhi to prep khatam hone wala hai. Rook e8 on the board. And Gukesh, remember, he's a pawn up. And he wants to maintain his advantage. He wants to play for a win. So he goes for a queen sacrifice with queen into a3, super unexpected, but in this tournament, goes for it. Queen takes, pawn takes, rook takes. Definitely an inspired decision here. It was not forced at all. There were other options in the position, but this is a very cool move because now white has one rook and knight and a pawn for a queen. And he is hopeful of picking up the pawn on a3 as well sometime in the future with knight c4 coming in, and maybe the other rook comes to d1, and eventually the pawn on a3 will be picked up. So that's the main idea here. Rook d3. Hello Mayur, how is Japan doing? How are you doing? Queen f6 on the board. Rook a d1, very natural. Once more, the pawn on a3 is hanging, so black has to defend it. Black cannot afford to give up more pawns. Moreover, pawn on d6, very, very close to the queening square. It will force black into passivity if black is not alert enough. Black plays queen to b2 here, defending a3, but more importantly, attacking a2, creating his own pass pawn, which we cannot allow. So so white here went back to d2. Queen b5, and finally the board. 16 minutes for Vincent. 30 moves are already over, so only 10 more moves for the time control. Gukesh has had some time trouble issues in this tournament, so I really like his time management here. But it was a complex game. So I'm wondering if we could have a really, really strong player joining us so that they can explain this game to us better. What do you think? What do you think, chat? Do we have our... है क्या? एक मिनट मैं स्क्रीन पे देख रही हूँ. Yes, we have someone very special joining us. Hi Harshit, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
You look so fresh. ऐसे सुबह सुबह
Yeah.
उठ के एकदम नहा धो के तैयार.
I'm ready for the final two games, Samya.
Oh, I'm so happy to see you. It's so exciting to be commentating with you. And these games are also super thrilling. Did you see what Guki has done? He has sacrificed a queen already.
Gukesh sacked a queen. Wow.
Yeah, it is a very it was not at all a forced decision. Maybe I can just show you the position where he did that. So
Mm-hmm.
d6, he's a pawn up in the marshal, but black has good activity. And
Uh-huh.
black played rook e8 here.
Oh, queen d6,
Or
knight c4. Nice. You showed that.
अच्छा tactic था.
Uh-huh.
But यहाँ पे maybe he doesn't like the idea of allowing this exchange sack and then
Mm-hmm.
black picking up the pawn on d6. So he goes for queen into a3,
Uh-huh.
pawn takes, and rook d3, and this position. And he's saying that I'll bring this rook to d1 and pick this up in the future. So queen f6 खेला Vincent ने, rook
Uh-huh.
d1, queen b2, rook d2, and queen b5. This is the live position. What do you think, Harshit?
Yeah, I mean, it looks so. I mean, I think white is for sure playing risk-free, right? Because the pawn on d6 can just go to d7. And I don't see if white can ever be. Also, h ka pawn ही नहीं है यार. It's like.
You just assume कि यहाँ पे एक pawn होगा, but in fact कोई back rank mate तो नहीं होगा at least.
Exactly.
Sorry, I changed some setting. Let's go back.
Mm-hmm. And he's playing a move, he goes h3.
क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे? हाँ, h3 खेल दिया. And एटलीस्ट हमारे बैकग्राउंड प्रॉब्लम्स भी अभी सॉल्व हो चुके हैं.
Oh,
क्या
amazing.
लगता है आपको?
Yeah, so I think I mean, time situation की वजह से I do think he has very good chances to win, yeah. But I'm trying to see how I can basically use my knight.
Hmm. So where would you like to place it, Harshit?
Hmm.
Ideally.
Honestly, knight on c4 would be quite nice, right? Like if I can somehow
Hmm.
get rook c2, knight c4, and if I can win one more pawn
Hmm.
on a3, I somehow like this configuration to place my knight on c4. फिर d6 का pawn is cemento, and a3 का pawn it can fall at any time.
Red में करते हैं. हाँ. No, brilliant. Rook C2 is one of the suggestions by the computer here. There are many good moves in this position क्योंकि white की position basically अच्छी है. तो even a move
Uh-huh.
like King H1 is a good move here.
Yes,
तो
one.
King H1 तो कोई
Uh-huh.
खेलेगा नहीं. But yes, one of the top suggestions is actually Rook C2 and then
Oh
Knight
wow.
C4. So that's amazing uh, understanding there, Harshit, which we saw in your games also in St. Louis. So it's great to have
Yeah.
you here.
No, I think I'm feeling very good about my chess right now. Like I played a tournament recently, and also I'm following the games of this tournament closely. Also, American Cup is going on right now, and end of the month, candidates most likely will happen. So I think this next few 2 3 months actually, Soumya, are very exciting for chess players, especially because we are going to know who will play against this guy on the left in the World Championship match.
And also, especially because we are not playing any tournaments. So we can just sit back and enjoy watching their games. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, Harshit. So do you want to also see the other game here?
Yes, Arvind.
Yeah, let's go to Arvind's board if we can have his
Uh-huh.
camera on the screen as well. तो ये
Yeah.
गेम हमने अब तक बिल्कुल देखा नहीं है. This is the live position. So do
Uh-huh.
you want to take our viewers through the game? Like I'll play
Yeah. Let's
and you
do
can
it. By the
explain.
way,
हाँ
look
हाँ.
at the playing hall. It's like full house today. So many spectators watching the game, sitting
हाँ.
down. Crazy.
ये आज वीकेंड है क्या? सैटरडे है क्या? नहीं, फ्राइडे है.
Today is Friday,
No,
yeah.
today is
It's like
Thursday. Sorry.
so pre-weekend vibes in Prague already. As it seems like all the spectators have found an opportunity to come. So E4, Van Foreest, the tournament leader, started with E4. Arvind, who was completely winning yesterday, had a heartbreak, did not convert. And I'm very curious to see how he managed to keep his nerves in today's game. Knight F3, Knight C6. Very typical. Knight C3. So we did get a small surprise by Jordan to not go D4, Knight F6. And he goes Bishop B5. So he
Hey,
definitely wants
I'll
to.
just interrupt you for one
Uh-huh.
moment. There is one student of yours in the chat, Harshit. Mr. Pro says, Harshit sir, I took your class on circle chess today.
Oh,
So
crazy.
that's so sweet.
Hi.
Nice. So knight f6 on the board.
Mhm.
Bishop b5. Yes, please continue, Harshit.
Yeah, so Queen C7, and we transport this into some sort of a Rosso Limo. Chop chop and D4. This is a bit rare because generally you go for this D3 and H3 setups, but Jordan
Hmm.
goes for this immediate D4, right, Soumya?
D4 is super rare according to my leeches database. Only one top game in 2023 between like white was 2283 player and black is 2459 and black won the
Mhm.
game. So super rare
I
here.
think I think we are all hoping that the same result happens. Well, at least many of us.
Hmm.
D4 takes, bishop G4 and queen E5. So he wants to go to into an end game and say that black का
Mhm.
development बिल्कुल भी नहीं हुआ है. So he's trying to take advantage of that.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay.
Arvind is like, I don't mind trading queens, but I want to do it on my own accord. He goes queen D6 to improve his pawn structure.
Queen D. Oh, Queen D6 is super nice, na?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, I really like it.
Queen
It
G3
अच्छा,
takes.
ये भी बोल रहा है we will exchange on my terms. दोनों का चल रहा है conversation. Hmm.
Terms and conditions both थे, but let's go quickly through the moves. Bishop F3, E5. And I guess Black solved all of his opening problems, yeah, basically. Um, like he's
Mm-hmm.
going to go bishop e7 castle. The only thing that I would be scared of is somehow if white can reroute his knight to f5. That is something that stands out immediately to me. So let's see
Mm-hmm.
castles, bishop e7. And actually Jordan does go for this idea, knight e2.
Oh, yeah, it's a very strong idea, Harshit.
Knight e2, knight g3, because you see this hole on f5. Queen e6, knight g3,
So
g6.
maybe G6 was also an option. Yeah, no, it's a bit stuck. Okay.
Directly g6. Uh-huh.
But what do you think? Like यहाँ पे castle bishop e7 की जगह g5 का pawn block करेगा क्या हमारे bishop को?
Yeah, I kind of like developing the bishop on e7. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think because if we go to g7, the e5 pawn, as you highlight, is going to be
Mm-hmm.
reducing the mobility of our bishop. So I like this bishop e7, queen e6, g6. Very nice by Arvind. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Knight g3, queen b3, chop chop, and bishop c5. I mean, one would think that black could even offer a draw here, and I would be surprised if Jordan would not accept it. So I have a feeling uh, that Arvind might this endgame against Jordan, who is extremely good in dynamic positions. But maybe Arvind thinks that in these slow maneuver, like जहाँ पे maneuver कर सकते हैं, maybe he can try to outplay his opponent.
So you think Arvind is trying to outplay his opponent, even though White wanted to go into the endgame in the first place?
I think so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great analysis there.
Well, I mean, because I mean, obviously both players continue to keep playing, right? Bishop g5, rook d1. It's clear that they are still ambitious. It's possible that even white
Mm-hmm.
wants to still find some chances. f6, bishop d2, and after knight e2, knight c1. Very interesting maneuver, by the way, by Jordan.
But a knight on G, which one? Ah, this one. Oh, माझा नेट लॅग होत आहे का?
Slightly, I think.
हॅलो, गेला का माझा नेट? Oh,
Uh,
I'm lagging, yeah? Okay, I'll switch.
uh-huh.
My other net has like very good connection according to that net ka server, but I don't know if it's working or not. से कुछ भी झूठ बोल के चिपका दिया. Anyway, rook h d8 on the board, and yes, Harshit, you were talking about White's knight maneuver, right?
Yeah, knight c1. Because knight g3 pe he wasn't doing anything. So white is like, okay, let's try to remaneuver it to c1.
Oh, and where does it go from c1 to b3 or d3?
That is a good question. I think it wants to go to d3, na? D3 and then maybe ask black's bishop kahan pe jana hai. Because if black's bishop goes to b6, then bishop b4 check can come.
Ooh. Oof. Yeah, it's a nice strategy actually. So bishop, you know what's a good move by black here?
Mm-hmm.
Prophylaxis. पहले ही bishop b6 चले जाए.
Bishop b6 immediately. And if knight d3?
And he doesn't care about bishop b4. Okay, there are many options, but this is, yeah, knight d3, and he's just ignoring it. King e6 is one of the
Mm.
moves.
By the way, I have a question. If bishop b4, bishop c5 back, what can white play? It's a tricky question.
हमारे producer जी giving a cricket update.
Yes.
Yeah, my net is too bad, huh? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's a better idea. Okay. So I'll stop sharing mine, na?
1 second.
Huh.
Leech, I have to open Firefox, right? Yeah. Just 1 second, guys. I'll get the leeches.
Mm-hmm.
Bam,
Mm-hmm.
bam, and bam.
Chat में our producer ji is giving cricket updates. What's going on?
Yeah, India is playing England.
Yeah, and Sanju Samsung scored like 89 or 42. That was my last update.
And England is fighting quite well, actually. It's crazy.
Oof.
We scored 250 and they're still giving us a tough fight.
Oof.
Crazy.
ये Zoom में थोड़े ज्यादा कैमरास हो गए क्या स्क्रीन पर?
Here,
हाँ.
I shared my screen now.
Hello, chat. Everyone watching, do like this stream. We have Harshit here and my Harshit's camera, my voice, and Arvind playing against Jordan. So
I shared
let's
the whole
go.
screen. Yeah, I did it. I did it now. Okay, great.
Oh, this is awesome.
So he goes back bishop d6, Soumya. He does two prophylaxis, but he brings his bishop back to d6 instead.
Oh. It's a slow game, na, Harshit? Like this one?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think very, very likely we are going to see a draw in this game.
बट इवन मतलब कोई बेटर रहेगा तो ब्लैक ही रहेगा क्योंकि व्हाइट के नाइट के लिए बहुत प्रॉब्लम्स है जाए तो जाए कहाँ नाइट D3 पे जा
Yeah.
सकता है बट हाँ वही
And
है
then, by the way, I had a question to ask, guys. Like, if bishop b6, bishop b4, if bishop c5, what can white play now?
अरे अरे Gukesh game please yes we'll go there
Gukesh
explore
game,
it
yes. By the way, yes, I see some of you finding it in the chat. It's boom. Sundar found it rook takes d7. And then if rook takes d7, bishop c5, you would love to give rook d1 mate, but you're in a check.
Ah.
So it doesn't work. We'll
Oh.
go back to Gukesh's game now.
Hmm.
Oh, rook c1, queen c6 played.
Oh, and your idea of knight c4 coming in, Harshit.
Yeah, time to just cement, oh yes, submit our knight on c4 and just chop the pawn on a3, hopefully.
Yeah, in fact, chop it with rook c3, rook a3. हम हमारा d6 का pawn भी नहीं
Ah,
देंगे.
yes. I like this. Knight c4, rook c3, and just take this pawn with the rook, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And Gukesh seems quite confident. Yes, 47 minutes. I mean, this is for sure, a positive sign for all the people watching that, and a risk-free position.
Absolutely, like playing for two results, ना? या तो draw होगी या तो white जीतेगा. I don't think black has any chance.
Yeah, I'm just curious if Gukesh is considering this sneaky move knight f5 here.
अरे chat knight f5 पे क्यों जाएगा? Knight f5 को तो हम c4 खेल देंगे. Why not?
Ah,
Let's
maybe
push our pawn.
g6, no? To kick the knight away, we have to come back to e3 then.
Yeah, these are all like really cool moves, है ना chat? What are you what are you doing against knight f5? Let's see. Oh, Sundar Devanathan quite alert.
Yeah,
And
exactly. Knight f5, if g6, knight e7 check, that's our big threat. And we are winning the queen. So knight f5, I think Gukesh needs to be, alert about queen e4. Because there are tricks. If you take my
oh,
pawn, oopsie doopsie. Check and you lose the rook.
so easy to blunder this in a bullet game, but not in classical. So knight on f5 थोड़ा unstable भी लग रहा है because knight on c4 is so well protected by our rook on c1, whereas knight f5 पे फिर g4 खेलना पड़ेगा. You don't like all that.
And as soon as you said that he has played knight c4, Gukesh, and It's Vincent's move now. 7 moves that he needs to make minutes on his clock.
Oof. Vincent in huge pressure here, actually. He has his task cut out. A3 pawn to jayega hi jayega. Let's see if we can play some defensive move like queen a6, but you just play uh, even rook d3, right? Huh.
Yeah, rook d3, rook a3.
Mm.
And I have
For
to
passive.
tell you, Soumya, that there are only a few moves
Mm-hmm.
which keep the balance from Vincent's perspective. And knowing the history that these two players have, Vincent, I was going to say is going to know exactly how Gukesh plays because Vincent was helping Gukesh in his World Championship match and he finds the only move Queen e4.
Hmm. Oh, that really must help him, right? Like, because I mean, I've always had this problem while commentating on Gukesh's games that I'm never able to really guess his moves because he comes up with some unusual moves. So I'm sure his opponents also must be facing the same, but not Vincent because he's little familiar with his game. What do you think?
Is absolutely, you're right. He's familiar with how Gukesh thinks. And what if Rook c3 now, Soumya? And everyone in the chat, can you find the Brillante move? Soumya, it's a test for you and everyone watching. Brillante tactic.
For Queen e4 or for Rook c3? Oh,
For Rook c3.
I see one tactic and it seems to be working. So I'll go for that.
Yes, I think you found it. Exactly. The only Iris. Anu Dravid. Adik. Exactement. Rook c3. Boom. Rook takes d6.
Oof. So easy to miss.
It's so easy to miss. If you take with the rook, oopsie, check and gone. If you take with the knight, you are still lose.
So the pawn is defended twice, but not really. It anyway was hanging after rook c3. Ah,
And
so
that's why.
definitely Guki has a lot of time here and he's not likely to go for that. I like that Vincent is playing actively. Like every move is active and there's no question of a passive defense here.
I mean, Queen e4 is such a nice move. This means that he's alert.
Mhm.
He's very alert about his defense. Active defense very often is better than being passive. And I like this Queen e4, Queen in the center. What if White plays a move like King f1? Is
Oof.
it too crazy?
Are you serious? Oh, maybe the idea is to prevent Queen e1. Prophylaxis. Uh,
Now you know how I think, yeah.
mm. Oh, Kingdom a nice move, yeah, Harshit. देखा भी नहीं. What do
But
we
maybe I
do?
don't have a threat.
No, you have a threat with Rook C3, no?
Check, and I have to run with on e2. Yeah, it's a bit
But it's
scary.
so dangerous with Rook
Yeah,
E8.
it's a bit scary.
Mm-hmm.
So Queen e4, are there more moves
I
on the board?
like
Not yet.
I like D7, Harshit. Is it a blunder or is it possible?
d7,
Maybe
I
it allows
would be a
Queen
bit
E6.
scared because of Queen e6, exactly.
But then Rook D6, no? I thought.
Rook d6. So, okay, Soumya is thinking about the move pawn to d7 here.
Mm-hmm.
And her idea was that Queen e6, it feels as if black is winning a pawn, but there is Rook d6. Very nice move that you found. And then knight a5, knight c6. This is the
Oh.
ideal scenario for white. So d7 actually seems to be a very nice idea. Actually,
Wait,
one of the best moves.
what? Did he play Rook C3 or is it our analysis? No, he's
No,
still.
no, no. He did not play it.
Ah.
This is the live position.
So D7 also, Guki has been going for the for the moves with direct concrete moves in this game and
Hmm.
usually tends to go for such moves, right? So I think he also must be looking at D7.
Yeah, I think d7 is surely something that Gukesh has on his mind. Um, by the way, just to make sure, is there anything crazy happening in Divya's or Surya's game?
Okay, I'll have a
Because
look.
if that's the case, then we can jump there.
Mhm. Yeah, I'll have a look
Arvind,
meanwhile.
Arvind's game, guys, is very, very solid. So that's why I think this game kind of peaks. our interest. By the way, we can even just win a pawn on a3, right? वो तो सोचा ही नहीं.
Surya's game is
Ah, sorry, Surya's game?
Harshit, Surya's game is completely crazy. He might win. It's completely crazy. You have to have a look at the position, but you can maybe explain this and go there. That's also fine.
Yeah,
बहुत ही
because I was
crazy
just saying
position.
कि a3 का pawn मार सकते हैं हम for free, but still there is this trick, yeah, queen f4, and the same point that if knight c4, there is this amazing tactic rook takes d6, which kind of keeps the balance. So knight c4, queen e4, Gukesh has quite a few options that he needs to consider. So I think he will spend some time. And yes, let's go to the board, the game of Surya. But I think for that, I first need to get this other screen here, challengers, bam, and here, flip
Yep,
board.
we have it.
Flip,
Oh.
who's.
Super actually. So yeah, look at the
What?
knight on c1. What an arduous journey it's undertaken. Knight d8 से c1 पे चला गया. कैसे?
Okay, knight went from b3
Or
and now c1. And if you take, okay, so
maybe
first of
it's the
all,
b8 knight actually.
if you go queen e3, there is knight d3. Ah, no. There is rook d3,
Oof.
kicking the queen away from this diagonal. And then knight is going to jump in.
It's a massacre on the white king.
Crazy. And do we have Surya's camera as well, by the way? Oh, yes. Here we
Okay.
have such a nice shirt that he's wearing.
I love Surya's dressing sense. You know, last 2 years में उन्होंने जो भी fashion stylist जो भी hire किया है, उनका एक shirt ऐसा मस्त रहता है. What is this? I think those, I cannot figure it out. I think it's a
And
stock.
yeah, we cannot figure it out, and his opponent cannot figure out his chess. So things are going in his way in this game. And he won yesterday, right? Yes, he
Uh-huh.
beat Zhu yesterday. So now he can win his second game in a row against Finnick. So knight c1
Mm-hmm.
attacks the queen. He has 7 minutes on his clock, Finnick. If you take, black recaptures. And yes, white has 2 pieces for the rook, but the black king is very weak and he plays queen e4. Uh-huh.
Oh my God. So he allows knight d3. He allows a knight discovered attack on the king as well after knight c4, knight d5. Uh, yeah, let's see what's happening. Knight c4 भी अच्छा मूव लग रहा है मुझे तो. But
Oh my
maybe.
God. I see a mate.
Oof.
Uh, so let's imagine this, yeah? Knight d3 check. Guys, let's try to visualize now. Check.
Mm-hmm.
King goes back. Okay, this was easy.
Mm-hmm.
Knight to c4. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
my threat is queen f2 mate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everyone can see this now.
Mm-hmm.
Now rook e2, for example.
Ah.
Preventing the mate. Can you guys, okay, it might be a bit difficult, but I will make the moves on the board as well. Rook to e2,
Mm-hmm.
protecting. Now we capture the bishop on b4. White
Oh.
recaptures. We enter with a rook to d1.
Oof.
Okay, I'm going to make it on the board because it's too crazy. Boom, threatening mate, rook e2. You chop the bishop here. A b3, you go rook d1 check, and somehow now the problem is knight d2 check forks, knight e3 check coming in, and black actually has a very good winning chance. Like rook e1 now, for example, knight e3 check, and the rook is coming in. You cannot take with the queen because it's pinned. Everything is falling for white right now, but it all starts, this whole variation starts with the simple move knight d3 check.
So knight d3, the most obvious move and the best move in the position, not with the idea of picking up the rook on e1, but to threaten mate with knight to c4 on the next move. Super nice idea there.
Exactement.
The knights
भाई
creating
ऑर्बिटर जी
havoc.
थोड़ा हिल जाओ, थोड़ा सा.
Orbiter orbiting the players right now. अरे बहुत funny है
Okay, I think we will also orbit
ये.
to,
Maybe
toward
Divya, but this is
Divya.
such
Yes.
a fun game, yeah. We should come back to this
Yeah,
one.
we should for sure check this. I think Surya, if he finds knight d3 and knight c4, has great winning chances. Divya's board.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like Divya actually is starting to get a little bit better, yeah?
Yeah, the bishop on d7 clearly an unhappy piece. It got developed only one move ago. It was on
And bishop e4. Fantastic. Hitting the pawn
c8 all
here.
this while, restricting the so bishop e4 you want to play, huh, Harshit?
She played it.
Oh, she played it. Okay. So very strong because bishop c6 is not a good move here, guys. Why? Yeah, bishop takes, and then maybe our chat can point out what happens after pawn takes.
Yeah, if pawn takes c6, actually, this is a trick question, Soumya.
अच्छा, मेरा मुंह अच्छा नहीं है.
This is a trick question
How to blunder in 10 different ways.
because for everyone who wrote rook takes c6, guys, तुम्हारा goal हो गया है. Own goal because f6. You're losing the bishop and the
अरे
rook.
यार.
So actually, Soumya asked a very nice question. This
No,
is
no.
my style.
ऐसे बोलने का अपना खुद का गलती कवर करने के लिए तो ट्रिक क्वेश्चन. Very nice.
So bishop e4 and Divya actually might win her game and she's on 50%, Soumya. If she wins this +1 and her tournament is going to go from good to excellent after this.
Yeah, I think she's played some amazing chess so far. Bishop e4. What is the best move, Harshit? Just like, I mean, rook b8 looks horrible. It's too
Rook
passive. It
b8,
also allows bishop f4.
yeah. Black has to somehow find b6, but this is not easy to find, in my opinion. Because you also need to consider bishop a8, pc5, queen c5, and that your knight on e7 is falling. So, for example, black needs to understand that he can give up a pawn and he would have excellent compensation, which is obviously apparent once we reach this position. But oh, he plays it, yaar. These players are so good somewhere. He finds b6.
That's amazing. Very strong. You know, the IMs playing in this tournament are playing such fine chess. Even the first two rounds when I was covering the event, I did not feel like I'm watching I was watching a game by a player who's just coming up. I felt like I was watching a game between two grandmasters. So they're really strong. And b6 on the board.
Yeah, I think they
क्यों
also have
हंस रहे हो
very
तुम?
big
क्या हुआ?
motivation because if they win, they get to play in the Masters section. So I think these young upcoming players are very motivated actually. By the way, Gukesh's game, we want to check again just to see if there are any updates
Yeah. Let's go.
because we do have a lot of moves. Look at this. H3, Rook D8, Rook C1, Knight C4, Queen E4. We left it here. Gukesh took the pawn on
Oh,
A3.
what? Oh, okay.
Queen F4, Rook D1, Queen A4, Knight B1 back, C4. This is the
Oh.
live position on the board now.
Oh, pretty strong c4. So knight c3 met with queen a3. So that rook
Exactly.
c2 will be met with rook d6 and um
And you would just win the pawn back.
yep.
So for white, it's very important to keep the pawn on d6 alive. क्योंकि d6 के pawn के वजह से ये rook d8 पे अड़का हुआ है and the queen is also kind of in some ways tied down to defend against promotion of this pawn.
अड़का हुआ is such a Puneri thing to say. Like हम लोग नए वर्ड्स इन्वेंट करते हैं हिंदी में वितर्क मराठी.
So I think that white somehow just needs to improve the positioning of the knight, but black has now pushed the pawn to c4, which means that the white knight needs to kind of be alert to not allow c3, c2.
Mhm. Yeah,
So,
D. Sorry, tell me.
no, no, tell me.
Yeah, D7 also the most natural move in the position, no? Because you want to push your passed pawn, you have your rooks lined up on the D file. What are you waiting for?
Yeah, actually, why not d7? Maybe king f8?
King F8 and knight C3.
Knight c3, I just, let's say, go something like queen a5.
So where do I want my knight? I would love my knight to be on C6. So uh, that's the best spot for the knight.
Oh, he goes for it, by the way. D7 played somewhere. So we might see Vincent actually playing King F8 and going into this variation. Or do you think King F8 is too much?
No, it's not because there's no dark squared bishop. There's no queen on the board. I think it's completely safe, no, for black to play King F8.
Yeah, it
And you
seems.
also like forever get rid of these rookie 8 ideas in the future with King F8.
And Gukesh kind of seems to be relaxed here. He seems to think that he has very good chances to win.
Mm-hmm.
Vincent, on the other hand, has 9 minutes. He knows he needs to make his decision quickly. By the way, only four more moves for Vincent to make until he reaches the time control. What's the way? Let's think of a way where white can actually get a big advantage. Like, what does
Yeah.
white need to achieve?
Yeah, I think knight on B7 would be fantastic. It's a dream. The second one is a timely rookie 8. That would also do the
Hmm.
job.
Hmm.
This is a blunders
But
suggested. Hmm.
but it's not so easy to imagine and like both of these things happening so easily, right? With the queen being on a4.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe at some point white needs to place his knight on e4 and go for something like f3.
The problem is when we go knight e4 and if black's queen is on a3, like knight c3, queen a3, knight e4, I think black can go c3, no? Or
And kind of get his own counterplay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, I
oh,
mean,
this is
objectively equal, but still some chances, yeah, for white.
that was a nice line actually, Harshit. Knight
Okay.
c3.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nice line for black, unfortunately, but let's see that. Knight c3, queen a3,
Mm-hmm.
knight
Mm-hmm.
e4,
Mm-hmm.
pawn to c3, and now
Mm-hmm.
rook d3 runs into what chat?
Rook C. Yeah, rook d3 would be a very bad move.
Yeah,
Or
nobody's
like, it
gonna
might
make
be a
it.
good move actually because you might win a pawn.
Oh yeah. You have big threats in life. Big plans. बहुत जल्दी पानी फिरने वाला है. Let's see if chat is alert. Let's see. क्या चल रहा है chat में? Oh, chat में Savage Kid gave a line with King F8, but we'll come back to that later. First, let's
Ex-
finish this question.
Yeah, Savage Kid, 404 press. No, 404 press, there's a better move. But the Savage Kid finds it. It is this move, pawn to c2. And if you take the queen, black makes a new queen by capturing your rook, and black is completely winning. And someone is saying cricket कितना intense चल रहा है रे भाई क्या चल रहा है? Let's stay here. I think India will
Cricketing.
win.
Yeah, it's happening
Soumya,
in
are you with
Mumbai.
me?
Wankhede. Look, these 7. Uh,
Uh-huh.
yeah, my net keeps lagging, Harshit. Sorry. Sorry about that. I
No,
don't
no,
know
no,
how
it's
to
okay.
fix it. I have two internets and both of them are.
I think everyone, it's the semi-finals, so I'm sure everyone is like uh, gutted to their seats right now to watch what's happening. But I think India will win.
But semi-finals और सेमीफाइनल्स तो यहाँ पर भी चल रहा है ना आज पेनल्टी रहा.
Oh, yes. Today is
Yeah, but
the
yeah, you're
sec
right.
5 minutes for Vincent. Yeah, this is actually getting exciting now because if he goes wrong in the next few moves, Gukesh is going to get an additional 30 minutes to find his way
Mhm,
into an advantage. So Vincent needs to be very accurate in the next four moves.
mhm,
And look at his body language here. I mean, he has found an idea for sure, but he recognizes that he needs to play quickly.
mhm. Yeah,
And
D7 very strong, and it's not easy. I don't think a move like King F8 is very natural, Harshit, to be honest. I think maybe a queen move or a pawn move would be more natural here. Just maintain the
Mhm.
position. Let's see if Queen C6 is a blunder here. Can we see Queen C6? Because it does lose the idea of going Queen A3 for Knight C3.
Yeah, Queen C6, not a blunder, but it does allow White to get stability with Knight C3 and Rook D4.
Mhm.
So, oh, we have a move by the way. He goes King F8. He does play
Oh,
this move.
he's in great shape so far. He's found these amazing resources throughout.
Yeah, King F8. And the whole point is that you bring the king closer to the rook on D8, which now means that this idea of rook E1, rook E8 will no longer be possible because the king is always there to protect it. So I like this move, King F8.
King
Gukesh.
F8 on the board, and do we have another move apart from Knight C3? Yeah, I see Rook D4 by the engine, but then it gives up the A2 pawn. So I'm wondering why are we going for Rook D4?
Yeah, Rook D4 is a bold decision. I have a feeling that White will play a move here, either with the F pawn, G pawn, or the H pawn. That's my feeling.
H4. Oh, H4 is nice actually. Now that you
Yeah, but I think maybe G3 somehow I was thinking could be played, but the problem is it weakens the F3 square. So not so easy because
H-
H4.
H4 and H5 also next move. And if the queen gets distracted, we bring our knight back. So we
Hmm.
can give a pawn. And our idea is to just activate our knight and bring it closer to the pawn.
Mm-hmm. I think H4 makes sense, Soumya. I think we might see H4. Just to quickly check Arvind's game, any if there are any developments
Yeah, I
here.
really like to.
Sorry, did I cut you?
No, no, that's fine. Let's go to Arvind's game. Let's go. So he managed to activate his knight, Harshit. Knight to C4. क्या बात है? Knight C1 से C4 पे आ गया.
Before F5, Arvind broke in the center, knight B3, giving up a pawn, but there is bishop G5 check business,
Hmm.
like FE4, bishop G5, knight F6, and something like knight D2 can be played. And then you just win the pawn on E4 back. So EF, GF, knight A5, rook D7, knight C4, bishop C7, and we are live with the players here. 13 minutes each. Do you think we can get a result in this equal endgame?
Actually, the pawn on E5 looks pretty weak now. Like after
Hmm.
bishop C7. The good part is that knight E5 is not working because of two reasons. First of all, rook E1, knight E4, but mainly the bishop on D2 will also hang. Uh,
Hmm.
so actually, it would be really nice if white could simply pick his rook up, rook on A1 and bring it to E1, but that's not allowed.
Yeah.
So he, yeah, I think bishop C3 here or bishop G5 as you had shown, that also makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense. Putting pressure
maybe
on the E5 pawn.
Black would love to go king e6, a6 to keep all of his pawns on the light squares क्योंकि white का bishop dark squared है. So we want to place all our pawns on the light squares and then later try to go knight d5 and put pressure on these pawns. Maybe Black has some ways to keep this game going, but on the other hand, the e5 pawn can be put under pressure with rook e1. So these are the pros and cons.
This position.
Mm-hmm.
Harshit, like whose pawn structure do you prefer? Because white does have a double pawn on the b file, so he has his issues. But then he has a target on the a7 pawn as well as e5 pawn. So what would you prefer here, white or black?
I somehow prefer black because his king is so much closer to the action. Like
Hmm.
endgames, may we say that kings should always be closer to the center, and black's king is already there. So that's why I prefer black slightly.
Oh, that's a great point. The king is much better. The black king is much better than the white king and participates in the happenings of the game right now. Whereas the white king is just like a
Mm-hmm.
spectator for the moment. Oh, it's a very nice way to look at it. Do you want to go and look at Surya's game? Because I think the live we
Oh
saw
yes.
actually happened.
Oh wow. Wow.
Isn't that?
Surya played knight d3, king f1, and knight c4, and his opponent has 6 minutes. But I think Surya has found his shape in the last two rounds.
Yeah, and to defend this position, it's already a mess. You have 6 minutes on the clock, and it's not like you're a pawn down or something. You are a piece up, but your king is going to get checkmated very, very soon.
Yeah, how do you even defend? Yeah, because if you go back queen e2,
Mm-hmm.
uh, what can black do now?
Oh, let's see. So knight e3 is not possible because there are two attacks,
So
two
we maybe
defenders.
chop off one defender and then go knight e3 check next, yeah?
Ah. King
And
e1,
then
knight e3, and
knight e3 and
we
rook
threaten
d1,
e1
rook
or rook c1.
c1. Everything is coming in and black is completely winning. So Surya
Oh,
actually is going to win his second game in a row somewhere. This is very good.
it's fantastic. March seems to be working out really well for him, even though his birthday was last month. But कभी कभी birthday पे खेलना अच्छा नहीं होता. So rook e2 may be the best move.
He played
Oh,
it. He played it.
oh, he did play it.
Yeah.
So we looked at this and we saw knight c1, right?
No, actually, we even saw that we can take on b4,
Uh-huh.
invade with the rook,
Mm-hmm.
and if rook e1, then knight e3 check, maybe something like this.
Yeah, this is like awesome.
Yeah,
There must
I
be
think
five different ways to checkmate white here.
because rook is coming in, and this rook on h4 attack करने के लिए आया था, but now अटक गया है बेचारा.
अटक गया है. Yeah, it's a mere spectator. Actually, rook on h4 कुछ भी नहीं कर रहा है.
कुछ भी नहीं कर रहा है. तो
Bishop
rook
on
e2.
g2, rook h4, सारे pieces बस देख रहे हैं कि क्या चल रहा है.
So we are expecting Surya to take on b4, and while he's thinking just to quickly check Divya, is she doing well?
Oh, India
He's just
won! What?
checking. India won. Let's
Harshit, India
go.
won! Yeah!
India goes into the finals.
Yeah,
What a match.
dude! क्या बात है?
Crazy.
हाय
Crazy.
हाय.
What a match. But well fought by England. यार 240 runs किए उन्होंने 20 ओवर में. Insane.
हाँ, हाँ.
What a match.
जो भी हो, जिसने भी जितना भी फाइट किया हो, जीत
अरे अरे
तो हम गए. I'm very happy. I'm like that. I'm like those chess fans, who don't really care about the quality of the game, who was winning, who is +6, +5. No, nobody cares here. We just want to know
result
the
is
result. I'm
game.
like that
Yeah.
when it comes to cricket. हाँ.
Let's go. Let's go. अभी फाइनल्स में कौन है सौम्या?
Let's go, let's go. देखते हैं. मैंने देखा नहीं हमारा ओपोनेंट कौन
वो रिजल्ट रिजल्ट
है.
इंडिया ही
यार
जीतने वाला है,
इतना
तुझे
नहीं
पता
है.
है.
मैं सिर्फ इंडियन क्रिकेट टीम को फॉलो करती हूँ. वो जहां जहां जाते हैं सेमीज तक गए तो मैंने सेमीज तक ही फॉलो की.
Orudion check played. Surya is playing inspired chess today. He sacrifices a piece and he's going all in for the white's king. He has to just play a few more accurate moves, and I think Surya is going to win this game.
This is an amazing game actually by Surya. He sacrificed, uh, I think he sacrificed two pieces for a rook and
कहाँ पे किया
basic
sacrifice?
activity. Yeah, and we won, and we are playing New Zealand in the finals on Sunday. It's going to be
Oof.
amazing. I think it's in Ahmedabad, the finals. बहुत
Yeah,
मजा.
that will be a huge match. India versus New Zealand. मजा आएगा यार.
बहुत ज्यादा मजा आने वाला है.
By the way, Bishop F2. This is where he sacrificed. Bam.
Oof.
King F2, Knight C5. And the Knights gave a nightmare to Phoenix King here. Boom, boom, boom. And suddenly everything worked out for Black here. And this is the live position. Finneck down to 5 minutes. By the way, Divya, I have to tell you, Soumya and everyone, that she's down to her last 5 minutes, and it's a complicated position all of a sudden. She was doing well, but Nemec, who found this move pawn to b6, is fighting in this game.
So fireworks in the Mumbai sky and fireworks on Gang's board here. But let's go to Divya's game and see what's happening.
Divya's game.
Uh,
Yeah,
Bishop h6 on the board. Definitely looks like a decent move here. And he did he managed to save the pawn, yeah, with b6 and all of that happened. So bishop h6. And h4 h5 is a nice idea, no, for Divya.
Yeah, no, I mean, as much as I see white's attacking chances on the king side, I also see options for black to just go knight f6, bishop b7, and just neutralize white's pieces. And with this weak pawn on d4, I think it might not be a bad idea, Soumya, for Divya to pull the brakes here somehow.
But I don't think it's possible to pull the brakes. I mean, you have to go for h4 h5. No, what else will white do here? What
No,
do
I
you
mean,
think,
I think
Harshit?
I think maybe somehow to go queen g5 and just chop on d5 maybe.
Ah.
And try to, because the thing is also, look at the clock situation. You have 5 minutes as opposed to your opponent's 15, and you do need to consider that while making your decision.
Mhm. Oh, it's a fair point. Let's see what Divya goes for. Although it's Black's turn to move right now, and he's quite likely to play Bishop B7 here, though. Very
Yeah,
natural in the
I
position.
think I agree. I think Bishop is so. Divya in some teeny tiny bit of trouble. Surya doing well. Let's go back to the master section to see if Gukesh has made his move yet. He has not. After king to f8, he is still thinking here. This is a long thing by Gukesh. More than 12 minutes that he has already spent here, but it makes sense because he knows that in the next three moves, Vincent is going to get 30 more minutes. So before that happens, he wants to somehow change the character of the position and pose direct problems on him.
Yeah, that's a great point, Harshit. I think that's why he's going like very, very deep into the position, trying to figure out which move would would cause Vincent to go in a deep thought himself. By the way, I'm looking at a game that might finish anytime soon. Do you want to quickly go there? Hans Neiman versus
Oh,
Antón
wow.
Guijarro. Look at the position that Hans has managed to build up.
Look at the symmetry like with in this pawn structure here. But actually,
Yeah, it
white
looks.
is up a clear pawn, yeah?
Oh, he's also up a pawn, but I see the black king suffering there on h8. अगर queen h4 पे आ गई या a7 via g7 पे transfer हो गया, and unlike Toppy, we won't miss the mate queen. But so queen d6, but yeah, rook c7 would be a great way to lose for black. What would white play here, Chad?
Yeah, I think white can maybe drop back with his queen to a5 and then e1 to h4, Samya.
Big plans, Harshit. Why not? Why not? Let's see.
And he plays it, Queen A7, by the way.
Oh, he goes for Queen A7. A very natural move in the game. Guys, do you think Black will go for Rook C7 and defend solidly? Yes, we will go to Gookie's game. Prasad is saying, please show the world champion Gukesh's game. We will go to his game.
Check and checkmate. Exactly. Exactly, guys, as you found out in the chat, this is going to be checkmate. And by the way, yes, one person pointed out that but so Hans is completely winning in this game after Queen A7, taking down Antón. Actually, Faustino Oro, Soumya had a chance today, a huge chance actually, to become the world's youngest grandmaster as he was playing in the Aeroflot Open. He was taking on Grebnev, Alexander, with the black pieces, but he unfortunately lost
Mhm.
that game, and he did not become the youngest grandmaster. But still, he remains to be a top talent, one of the most upcoming players in junior chess, and I'm sure he has a very bright future ahead.
Absolutely. And you are used to playing very young grandmasters these days, Harshit. You did play against against the player who holds the current record, Abhimanyu Mishra, in the St. Louis
Yes, it
Masters.
was a very nice experience actually to play against to play against Abhimanyu Mishra, and to also uh, play against Buddy Pranav, who's also a
Mhm.
top junior from India. And these players just have so much energy when they're playing. So I kind of tried to just take them in a very simple position where I can, be rock solid. That was my strategy.
And I
By the
love the
way,
game you played
Gukesh still
against
thinking.
your friend,
Grigory.
your friend from college, Grigory. Yeah, an amazing game, no?
Yeah. Yes, actually, I showed that
So
game
is
when
one
I,
of please go ahead, Harshit.
yeah, I showed that game actually in my master class today as well, a little bit, because I thought it was a very well played game.
Oh.
By the
So
way,
would
Rook
you
D4, he gives up the pawn on A2. What a bold decision by Gukesh.
So he's trying to distract the queen, and we saw this idea, right? It was suggested by the engine to go rook d4, and we didn't realize what would be the follow up for queen a2.
Yes, he wants to go Rook H4, Soumya. To
Oh,
threaten Rook H8 mate, you are forced to go back with your king to G8. And perhaps now he wants to use this opportunity to go with his knight to C3,
queen
and
c2.
Queen C2, I just win the C4 pawn, maybe, and Rook C8 next.
Oh, that's very
And
strong.
also, Rook E1, some tricky business. By the way, Queen takes A2 played.
Oh my
Okay, let's go. Gookie, Knight C3, Rook H4 first. Very important to go Rook H4 to bring the king back to G8, but this is the 39th move now. So
and
Vincent will reach time control.
and I guess knight c3, queen b3, rook h4 doesn't work because after queen takes c3, we cover the e1 square. So we no more have rook h8, king e7, rook e1 idea, which was the main point.
Very nice line, Soumya. Exactly. Black. He goes for it.
Oh
Let's
my
go.
God, what? Oh my God, that's amazing chess by Guki here. It's amazing that he found this idea, which was so hard to spot. Rook d4, rook h4, not at all the most obvious way to play this position, but that's Gukesh for you. He always finds the most unusual ways to keep the game going, create more problems for his opponent.
Yeah, I mean, I would not be surprised if but actually the good thing for Vincent is that he will get 30 minutes no matter what. So I think that can actually kind of salvage him into finding the best moves.
But he has to find king g8 Harshit, and after knight c3, he has to find the best move on the 40th move. That's a huge,
Yeah.
huge pressure situation for Vincent here.
Let's go, guys. Let's give the energy to Gukesh, who has been struggling in this event. But I think this can be a good turnaround to win
Yeah.
here against
He-
Vincent.
और आज इंडिया जीती है and we can like hope for a victory from the world champion as well. डबल मजा आ जाएगा इस गेम के बाद.
Let's go. Let's go, Gukesh.
Rook h4 on the board. Vincent doesn't have too much time to take a decision, but he has to make one here. Apart from king g8, there is no other good move in this position. Every other move loses immediately.
If you go queen c2, rook e1, you can just resign the game here because rook d7, rook h8 is the best check you can give some. It's checkmate.
Nice.
So this is the problem for black, and he's not made a move yet. 2.5 minutes for Vincent.
So rook e1 is the big threat in the position, Harshit. Oh my God.
Yes.
Because rook e1 के बाद king g8 is not good enough because it allows rook e8 check and we simply make a new queen and also checkmate black. So
Yeah.
black has to find king g8 or resign very soon.
2 minutes for Vincent. Can he find the only sequence of moves to draw this game? He is one of the best players in the world for a reason. So I wouldn't be surprised if he finds this move king g8. His world number, he's top 10.
Right? But he is under huge pressure, Harshit. Throughout the game, he has been under pressure here. And not at all easy. But he has found some extremely difficult moves in the game so far. Let's see if he goes for it.
And with every second that he thinks, I get the feeling that it's not going to be easy for him to find this move king g8 because king g8, you also need to consider rook e1 after that, right? King g8, rook e1, threatening rook e8, also a scary looking move.
And there is a question in the chat by Suhuro, the very good question actually. What happens for queen a4 here, Harshit, instead of king g8? Is that a move? Oh, king g8 played. He does.
Oh, he finds it. He finds king g8. And knight c3 played and only move queen a7 now.
Oh, queen a7, a very difficult move here, Harshit. Queen a7 with the idea to meet rook e1 with queen into d7.
Oh man, but it's...
And that saves the day for black. So...
But actually, it's, if you think about it, it's not that difficult as well, Soumya, because you're attacking the d7 pawn.
But you know, queen a7, I still have knight b5 and I agree you made 40 moves and you will have time to think. But the point is you need to take the decision right now, whether you want to go queen a7 and allow knight b5.
Yeah, queen a7, knight b5. I might be lucky to have queen a4 there. And somehow I hit
And
the rook and the knight.
Rook e1? It's not that obvious. But that, no? As
Sorry,
black.
queen.
But
What do you have to
the
calculate?
point
Queen
is black doesn't have time to calculate.
Yeah, 30 seconds.
No, I think black needs to calculate queen a7, knight b5, queen a4, rook e1. That's what I was trying to say.
But queen takes b5?
And rook e8? Oof, that's wonderfully blundered. Let's show this.
But okay, let's take 15 seconds. He finds it. Yeah, he's so good. Rook d4 played, but they reach the 40th move now. They reach the time control. And Gukesh still has some pressure, but I think for sure Vincent can breathe a sigh of relief there, as he is at least not losing after reaching move 40.
Yeah, you know, Harshit, yesterday I saw a very nice interview of Guki by Katie. And it's a very, very nice interview. Maybe everyone can check it out later. It's on the ChessBase India channel. And she mentioned that her co-host thinks that she's the commentator on the official stream, and her
Mhm.
co-host thinks that Guki is the best defender in the world. But
Yeah.
Vincent, yes, in this game.
But in this game, it's Vincent, yeah. Because he's holding on to his last breath here, Vincent, and Now I think all he needs to do is make sure that this knight never attacks the d8 square. That's the only thing he needs to be careful about. And once, and if he does that, then the game is going to end in a draw.
Mhm.
So I think Vincent, with his last sequence of moves, should be able to draw this game. Let's quickly check Arvind's game because they have not made the time control yet, and both players are down to 5 minutes. So I think this is very exciting now.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sakar just says that Hans is winning. Yes, Sakar, we did have a look at Hans's game. I guess you were busy watching the match, but welcome to the stream. Let's see what Aravind is doing against Jordan. Oh, they exchange the bishops. That
Yeah,
takes
they
all the
bishop
joy
e3.
out of the position.
Oh, look at the move bishop b6 though.
They're always creative, huh? Jordan, even with such less pieces on the board.
If you take, that would be a blunder because you're just losing an exchange. So he played knight d5, chop chop, and this is the position.
Oh, Harshit, I have a question. Why wasn't the a7 pawn hanging? Let's see. Instead of bishop b6,
Oh,
why not?
bishop a7. I
Uh-huh.
think he had prepared a very nice move, pawn to b5.
Mhm. And
So, and then basically wherever you move the knight, you can either take on h2 or play bishop e5. And you hit the bishop here, you hit the pawn here, and black regains the material back. So
oh,
that's
that's really
why.
nice. And knight b6 is too bad, yeah? Rook a7,
And
knight
now
b6, rook a7, knight d7. Oh, you're
you can
taking
even do
the
this.
knight.
Knight d5 next.
I thought you were going to take the bishop on a7 after knight b6. But that doesn't work out well for black, I guess.
Because there is knight d7, knight
Because
c5
of
check.
knight d7. Yeah, it's a very nice tactic.
So we have this position
Yes,
now.
fantastic.
f3 played, and actually Arvind needs to be slightly careful here. He needs to take the pawn on b4 here, which is the only move. But okay, that shouldn't be that difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see here Arvind extremely focused. He's I think he in this moment right now he has completely forgotten about what has happened yesterday, and he does take the pawn on b4. Excellent.
Yeah, guys. And it's a simple question, but let's see how many of you are alert. What happens for pawn takes pawn here? Can you? How many people can answer this question on the board after pawn takes pawn? I saw Gukireza Kal. By the way, what do you think of this username? Harshit, do you think this username is the strongest username in the world?
I think Guki Reza is one of the strongest for
Gukireza
sure.
Kal Garu says.
Yes, exactly. Fork, 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 fork.
नहीं उनका सरनेम भी है और ऐसा नहीं कि गुकी के साथ भी रुक गए.
Kalkaru.
That is too bad, yeah.
And knight c2. Exactly. Winning you're winning either of the two rooks. So he goes rook to e2. And
Rook e2,
Soumya
nice.
again only move for
Defending.
him. Only move for Arvind b5.
Because white is threatening knight b6, Harshit. Once again, the square on b6
Ooh.
is very soft, and after the rook moves, we take the pawn on a7 as well because there is no back rank on. Yeah, and he finds it. Bishop
He
pawn to
finds
b5.
it.
Arvind,
Fantastic.
fantastic with tactics as always. b5, knight a5 on the board. By the way, such a pity. Yeah, yesterday he was completely winning and he missed this. Missed that the king can go back to h6 and it would
Yeah,
be.
I think the Arvind had it was a very difficult actually game for him where he played so well, but he was unable to convert that winning advantage. And people are saying to go to Surya's game. Maybe we can just check if he has managed to convert his advantage. Oh my God, what a position.
What? Oh my God. Queen for rook and two pieces. Never easy, but the king is out in the open. The pawns are hanging. And is it? No, it's white's turn to play. I thought it's black's turn to play.
So they've reached the time control. So if we just evaluate the material, 6 pawns for black. So we have 9 plus 2, 11. And white has 5, 3. So it's actually the material is equal. 5 plus 3, 8 plus 3, 11. So material is equal, but the white pawns are very weak and the king is also quite susceptible to getting a lot of checks. So I think because of this, black still maintains a strong advantage and they've also reached the time control. So maybe we can once check Divya's game and go back to Arvind's game because that's crucial right now.
Absolutely. Let's do that.
So Divya has 1 minute 25 seconds and a very complicated game. Oh my God.
Oh, she didn't go for the h4 idea. She probably went for something else. Yes, she went for the queen g5 idea as you had suggested. And
She goes here and h5, bishop 8, waiting, queen d3. I'm a bit scared because of Divya's time, but on the other hand, sacrifices like knight takes h5 can happen at any time. Like rook e8 might be a very big mistake because of boom.
Oh, yeah, that's a great point, Harshit. And another point we must not forget is Divya is an incredible player in time pressure. She's somebody who
Yes.
finds tactics so fast. She's good at laying traps for her opponent. I've faced her many times, and I've always, she always gets very low on time, used to get very low on time against me, but then would find these amazing tactics which were hard to face. So, yeah, I think this time disadvantage is not a big deal, frankly, for Divya right now. Queen to
Yeah,
d3.
look at how calm Divya is right now. She's not showing any sign of being nervous. His opponent is also down to 5 minutes, and I like this position to follow. Actually, it's quite exciting, and you can see Divya there. She's confident in her chances here. I think she'll sacrifice Soumya. Knight edge कहीं पे तो sacrifice मारेगी Divya.
Yeah, definitely. Queen d3 is a fantastic move, actually. A queen on this diagonal is always causing a lot of problems for the black king. It's just that the black king can always escape to the queen side after
Hmm.
piece hazam karke must king e7, king d8, Ajani life. So that's a big issue there.
Yeah, king e7 and king d8. The black king can run. 5 minutes for Nemeth. 7 more moves to make. What's your prediction, Soumya? Prediction time.
Oh my God, why would you put me in a spot? As I said, like the IMs here are playing fantastic, so I'm not going to count them out here.
Mhm.
But I
नहीं
think
नहीं prediction बताओ.
I think I think draw हो जाएगी इस गेम में.
Okay, you think it will be a draw. हाँ.
आपका क्या प्रेडिक्शन है? तुम भी प्रेडिक्शन
नहीं मुझे
करो.
सिर्फ तुम्हारा जानना था.
मुझे अकेले से स्पॉट पे डाल के खुद खुश रह गए. चैट का क्या प्रेडिक्शन है यार? लेट्स सी व्हाट चैट इज इन. चैट तो दिव्या भी नहीं बोलेगी, बट लेट्स सी. शाश्वत एम says Divya will win. What do you say, Harshit? And then we'll get some predictions and we'll go to Guki or Arvind's game after this. Chat is saying draw. Oh, do you want to put a poll in the chat? Oh,
I, Poll is too
let's
difficult
put a
for me.
poll.
Okay, he goes back
Too much,
knight
yeah?
e7.
Poll is too much.
I think
मुझे आता ही नहीं है. हाँ.
I think that actually Divya needs to be a bit careful. So I think it will be a draw.
Oh, so we are on the same page.
Yeah.
Okay, let's.
And by the way, 1 minute 10 seconds. I mean, this is getting very close for Divya now in terms of reaching move number 40. And look at that. She looked at her clock and she's like, oh, I only have 50 seconds. 44 seconds now.
Oh, and you know, knight e7, a fantastic move because knight h5 will be met not with gh5 but bishop f3 first, intermezzo.
Exactly.
Oh,
Guys,
all in the chat. Let's go, guys. Give your predictions.
by the way, 20 seconds, Soumya.
Yes.
Are you sure about your prediction now?
Yeah, I am, but thoda to dagmag ho raha hai, but I am. I'm going to stick with it. So I think bishop a8, a very natural move here, Harshit. Let's take the bishop and put the rook in the corner with rook a8, and then maybe go queen f3,
But Divya, play. She takes on 8.
attack the
Finally.
rook. Knight e4.
Yeah, I think knight e4 makes sense. To have some ideas connected with queen f3. I like this. Again, down to 10 seconds, Divya. She goes knight e2.
Yeah. Knight e2, huh? Okay. Let's see.
Slightly passive. For sure. And knight f5 by Nemec. I like Nemec's position now.
But she wants to protect the d4 pawn.
Yeah, the knight on e2 does protect this pawn.
Own time, we want to keep our pawns protected. And maybe h3, g4 can be considered. h3 for now at least, so that we keep g4 in the air.
She goes rook c1.
And rook d8 will always be met with rook d1. And okay.
But I like this move h3 just to create
How
a
does
loop
she plan
for your
to
king.
meet rook d8?
Maybe h3. Because then if you take queen d4, I have rook c7 check. And I'm winning the game.
Oof.
Maybe
Thoda blunder.
g3.
That's a great point. So rook d8, h3. Oh, because h3 allows h4 fixing our kingside pawns. So we go g3 instead with the idea to go h3 or h4 ourselves.
Exactly. And 5 seconds, she goes h3. She goes for this move h3 and h4 is a great move as you pointed out. Just to quickly check
h3
on our
slightly
boys.
fast.
Gukesh played after a rook d4, g6, h4. Okay, I mean, this game is going to, I think the critical moment of this game is still yet to come when perhaps Vincent will go down on the clock. Okay, Arvind only has 1 minute 28 seconds. Maybe we can also check out this game. He has 1 minute.
Yeah, Harshit. Let's oscillate between the two. So, rook a6 check and rook d6 quite natural, no? You want to exchange that rook, which is super active.
Goes back king
You
f7.
don't want to leave it on the 6th rank. Oh, he goes back.
He goes back. I agreed with what you said, though, that we want to exchange the piece,
I
but
was
he
even
instead.
wondering about
e5 played, Soumya.
allowing e5. Yeah, I was exactly, Harshit, for this reason, I wanted to go ahead with my king to e5 instead of going back. That was a big question I had in my mind. If we can go ahead with our king. But ठीक है, ये game तो बहुत fast जाने वाला है. So let's see what the players are doing. E5, rook e7 on the board.
e6. I guess king f6
Allowing
now, so the pawn is
e6.
blocked.
And also the rook is blocked. We were worried about rook h6 ideas, which are not coming in anymore.
Arvind,
and soon we can go knight e5 at some point and pick up the e6 pawn in the future.
Yeah.
Not
One.
immediately, but at
We
some
need to be
moment we can.
slightly careful about this, but this idea of knight e5 is surely going to be something Black has in his mind. Maybe rook d5 and then even rook e5 with similar ideas of ganging up on the pawn on e6.
Yeah, it's fantastic, Harshit. Like rook d5, rook e5, great uh, concept here. Ah,
Oh, Navara is watching the game. He's like, I'm curious to see what's going to happen in this game. We can't see him because of our board, but it's him. And yes, you can see him now.
yeah, it
So
is.
nice of him to come in the camera angle. But he goes back. Arey yaar.
Navara has played some fantastic games in this tournament. His game against Yakubboev was mesmerizing. I think one of the candidates for the game of the year.
For sure. No, Navara is playing some inspired chess in his home country here. And Arvind, who is having a mediocre event, is playing the leader of this tournament, Jorden van Foreest. And if Arvind can actually upset him, this would be a huge game for him. Huge swing in momentum after not winning his yesterday's winning position. One minute for Jordan.
Anu Dravid says, कल का समझ में नहीं आ रहा क्या करूं because I have an exam on 7th and I'm giving my board exams. My advice would be please आप rest ले लो या पढ़ाई करो. It's okay. It's okay, Anu. Thank you so much for moderating the chat so far. पर आपकी मम्मी से हमें डांटने का खानी बाद में. तो आप प्लीज के एग्जाम्स का ध्यान रख लेना. King F6 on the board.
Yeah. And 30 seconds for Jordan.
Actually, Jordan under time pressure, and he has definitely spotted this idea with. Yeah, and he's definitely spotted this idea with rook d5, rook e5, Harshit, which you showed us. So
Mm-hmm.
he's considering what to do against it. It's not so easy, no, to
He goes
handle it.
knight d2.
Oh, he goes knight d2, and then he wants to give a check on e4.
Can I
And
play rook
can we
d5?
still go rook d5?
No. Oh my God. Knight e4
Not
and
bad.
knight d6.
What? What?
So we have to be careful as black here.
Oh, this is so easy to miss, Harshit, because not at all obvious that rook d5 is a mistake.
I agree.
Yeah, Satish6659, I am having connection issues. Sorry about that.
d5, knight e4, knight d6. Let's see if Arvind finds the simple move, something like rook e8 or even knight c1. They're all okay. He just needs to not play rook d5. He has a minute now on his clock. He's the defending champion in Prague. 35 seconds. Arvind needs to move.
Actually, rook d8 is also very natural, no, Harshit, because after knight e4, king g6, and now knight d6 would be a mistake because of, oh, rook e6 and knight e8, and it goes on, yeah, rook a6, and that's winning for black.
And you're threatening a sneaky checkmate here, but he has 10 seconds. So let's see what he plays. King f5.
5. Is did he prevent knight e4? Because we now could take rook. No, we couldn't take rook
Maybe he
e6.
wanted some knight c1 and perpetual like this.
Mhm.
So knight f3 played by Jordan. He reached the time control, and now Arvind needs to make one last move.
Oof. And rook d8, how does that look? But let's see what he plays because he's going to make a move very soon.
D8, rook D6. Maybe I'm a bit scared. He goes rook D5.
Much more solid, not allowing rook d6 ideas, and preparing
That's
knight
good.
e5.
Very good. Reaching
So,
the time control.
so Harshit, basically black always has this knight c1 idea in the air now after rook d5 because we took control of the e5 square.
Mm-hmm.
We could go for knight c1 and knight d3 back after rook e1 and make a draw if you want.
Exactly. So I think Arvind did very well to keep this game under control. It's still equal. Do you want to quickly check what's happening in her board? Because her pawn structure has deteriorated. They reached move number 40. But look at Divya's face. Look at this. I've never seen Divya like this.
I can't see the camera, but okay.
She she has her hand in her head. She takes back with the F pawn. Maybe she was just calculating. Yeah, maybe she was just calculating. I thought that she's upset, but no, I think she was just calculating. She takes back with the F pawn. It's still around equal. Maybe black is slightly better, but Divya can still for sure hold this game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite optimistic, Harshit, because there's such less material left on the board, and Black's king is also weak, we must admit. Like, White's king is weaker probably because now the F pawn has moved. But, as soon as the move, like, let's say the queen moves from c8 to, first of all, you cannot come to c1 because it's controlled.
Mm-hmm.
But even if you, let's say, you go to c4, I always have this check on b7 at least. And
Exactly.
it's not easy to exploit the weakness of white king.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, if black ever exchanges the queens, I do think that this pawn structure will be a small problem for Divya, but she has her own ideas, right? She can go g4 and knight f4. The idea that you mentioned at some point can definitely happen. So slightly worse for her. And then checking Surya's game, Surya is putting a lot of pressure on Finnick, but he's defending really well.
Oh wow. I mean the A pawn is a passer, but then we lose the E6 and F5 pawns and then we can get checkmated. So it's not easy. And if queen A2, maybe white can take on A5. Is that the point? Oh, you want to play something else?
Queen a2, I mean, it's somehow white can go even something like rook e3 to try and pressurize the e6 pawn,
No.
but it's very complicated. I mean, to be very honest with you, three pieces, if they ever coordinate, they are going to be very dangerous to play against. So Surya needs to make sure that white does not find harmony between these three pieces, and that's why he's playing a move like a5 to just, bait white into taking so that he can get b4, b3.
And after queen A2, pawn into A5, I think B4 is completely winning for black because you
Yeah.
cannot stop B3.
Yeah,
Oof.
this is a very nice idea. Bishop c8, and now he's trying to take on e6 to control the b3 square. But I like this move queen a2 that you suggested. So Surya fighting. He's definitely on the verge of putting pressure on Finnick. Divya slightly worse, and then we saw Arvind has completely equalized against Jordan, which means Gukesh drew his game.
Oh, what? Oof.
Yes.
Did that happen? Oh, we missed it. Okay, let's see. Let's see what happened there.
They just finished their game. As Vincent is taking the score sheet, they just agreed to a draw.
Why?
Rep- repetition.
Maybe
Yeah,
can find a way to break through, and that's, yeah, maybe a fair result over there.
yeah. He and Parham Maghsoodloo drew his game against Yakubboev, Nodirbek. So we already have two draws in the Masters section. Gukesh, he was putting pressure on Vincent, but Vincent was very accurate to find this. Like this, I think was the crucial defense to bring his queen to A7. King
Yeah.
G8 and Queen A7. I think this is where he kind of, you know, made sure that he's not going to get into trouble. And then Gukesh did not find a way to proceed. Fair result, but still, Gukesh is searching for that win, yeah, in the final few rounds of this tournament. And he has one more round to do that. Tomorrow is going to be the last round that he will play in the Prague Masters and continue to search for a victory um, in the final few rounds, which means that we have Arvind, Surya, and Divya playing, and Rook C6 played. So he has the option of making a draw right now.
Yeah, you think he'll go for it or he'll try to fight because both sides can try in this position, but black can try a bit more maybe because our knight is better.
Hmm.
What do you think?
I mean, the thing is that I cannot really push my pawns because if I ever push c4, the d4 square becomes weak. If I push b4, I do allow white to consider this move pawn to c4 and think. So
Hmm.
I'm just trying to see if black really has a way to improve his position. Because yes, like on the first glance, it looks like black is doing well, but I don't see a clear path to improve.
How is a5, a4? Does that make sense?
A5, I'm a bit afraid that rook a6,
A4?
a4, and c4.
Yeah, thank you. I saw this tactic. So pawn into c4.
Thank you. Rook takes,
And
and
then
you are going to trick me somehow.
I pick up the e6 pawn. That was the point.
And you take the e6 pawn. Yes.
So
Yeah, a5 maybe is a decent way.
yeah, I mean a5, a4, and then you put some pressure with b4 also later. You create a pass pawn for yourself.
Hmm.
I guess you can keep the game going.
A5 is a fantastic move, Soumya. Wow, well done.
Thank you.
A5 and A4. I love this idea to clamp down on this B2 pawn.
Hmm. बिकॉज व्हाइट के पीसेस थोड़े पैसिव तो है ना हर्षित रूक ऑन
Hmm.
e2 डिफेंड ही कर रहा है और क्या कर रहा है नाइट f3 भी ज्यादा कुछ अटैक नहीं कर रहा ओनली द रूक ऑन c6 is active and the pawn
Yes.
on e6 which is the reason our rook is stuck on e7 to white which is the knight on d3.
Hmm. Yeah, A5 I like actually, but where is Arvind?
He's gone for a stroll. He's gone for a
And
small stroll there.
he already lost 5 minutes of his extra time,
Mhm.
and I think he's just getting a breather. Of course, he's in no trouble here as he can always repeat with knight c1 and knight d3 as we saw.
Mhm.
Yeah, crazy, na? I mean, like, it's incredible to see that so many people are watching this game with so much like curiosity, even 3.5 hours into the game. And Gukesh has finished his game, so it's not as if the world champion is playing, but the spectators still want to see these top talents like Jorden. We have Arvind, then we have the local hero David Navara. All these games are going on. Divya is still playing.
Yeah, it's really nice to see so many people turn up to watch a game. I actually really like this arrangement. And you know, in many tournaments, they stop spectators from coming to watch the games because of the anti-cheating rules. But
Mhm.
I really wish if we could find a way around it because this is what like it's so exciting to have player people come and watch the game and then take a photo with the players later, maybe keep a commentary room on the side where you can go and watch, like you know, for World Rapid Blitz, like Amrita and Sagar were commentating live. That was so nice.
Yeah, I think I think fans and spectators really appreciate being inside the playing hall and actually, the silence that exists inside that playing hall is actually is very interesting because in that moment of silence, you can kind of understand and see the pressure and nervousness that the players are going through. You can feel the intensity in that silence. And here Arvind gets back to his chair, and I'm very curious to see because yesterday, he was winning, he could not win it. Today, will he try to win this drawn position or will he just repeat with black?
Oh, it's a great psychological question. What would you do here, Harshit, if you were in Arvind's place?
I think I
Because
would make
you
a
have
draw.
to overcome your emotions from yes. Hmm.
I'm a peaceful guy.
Yeah, pragmatic decision. There are some players who always want to, take decisive decisions, and there are some who will go for pragmatic ones. And I guess you are the pragmatic.
Yeah, I think draw with black. I mean, it's also not like black is better, right? So I think I was like, okay, draw with black against the tournament leader, and then maybe tomorrow with white, we can try to put some pressure.
Hmm. And whom is Arvind playing tomorrow? Let me see. अच्छा ये चेस रिजल्ट्स पे जाके ही देखने को मिलेगा लीचेस पे दिया नहीं है एक मिनट
Arvind,
चेक दिस
he
आउट
has thought for more than 9 minutes now. You get an additional time of 30 minutes for everyone who is not aware. Once you reach move number 40, and for every move that you make, like you make a move, you press the clock, so 30 seconds बढ़ता है. And this is the Prague Masters. It's like a traditional heritage event that keeps on happening there in the Czech Republic. And it has been known for having a very, very strong close tournament. And I think Gukesh, Prague, Vidit have all played in this tournament before. Arvind played it for the first time last year and won it. He's the defending champion, but I don't think he has any chances to defend his title as Jordan has been on a roll here.
absolutely and he is playing the local favorite David Navara in the last round tomorrow Arvind so oh my god two creative geniuses pitted against each other कल बहुत मजा आने वाला है गेम देखने को but आज भी अच्छा ही है rook c6 on the board Arvind taking his
Mhm.
time to take a decision
Yeah, he's taking his time. Um,
गैंग्स का गेम जाके देखे क्या थोड़ा देर बिकॉज बहुत कुछ हो गया है
let's check. Gang's game. Yes, here. Oh, I need to change it 1 second. So this is the live position
mm-hmm.
on Gang's board, and I think that the more material that gets exchanged on this game, the closer white gets towards the draw. And already you can see some sort of stable setup that white has created with the rook protecting the bishop and the bishop making sure that the b3 and the f3 squared are covered whenever the pawns advance. So even though the engine gives a small advantage for white, I think that Finnick has done an excellent job of defending this position.
Yeah, he was in a nightmarish situation in that middle game with such less time on the clock. I was sure the game is going to get over in a couple of moves, and here we have him escaping with a draw. Fantastic.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
very nice. Especially for someone being so young, he
Mhm.
has shown a lot of class in defending this position. H5, and I think white can even just capture the pawn on b4 perhaps now, and
Knight
we are.
b4, doesn't it run into f4, Harshit, because h5
Ah,
prevented?
yes, true, true. That's I think that's the trick that Surya is playing for f4, and if you take, then there is check and you lose the knight. Yes. No, you don't because you have king c3, but you lose the h4 pawn, and I guess this is not so easy to defend with the pawns rolling.
Mhm.
So h5, maybe white can just wait with king d1, king d2.
Oof, two pieces and a rook. Very, very heavy on the queen here.
Yeah, even though the white king was weak, it might not be enough for Surya to win his second game in a row. Divya, on the other hand, needs to find the only move now, actually. Maybe we can go to this game, Divya's board.
Yeah, let's do that.
And Divya has to play queen to a8 because otherwise, black is ready to go with f5 knight e4.
एक बार F5 94 आ गया तो व्हाइट किंग को बहुत खतरा है. क्वीन 8.
Oh, I have a question, by the way. Let's say queen d3, f5, knight c3. How can black kind of make sure that he improves his position here? Like, will you go for something like queen c6 and b5, or how will you improve?
अरे वाह, asking all the nice questions here.
I think it's very interesting, right? To how to understand how we can develop our position.
Maybe some strategic ideas on the king side, Harshit, with G5. That's my favorite move always, to push G5.
g5.
It allows D5 and the F5 pawn is weak. It's not so easy. Player chat is too smart, yeah, Harshit.
Yeah, chat is too good.
Falling for your tricks.
Yeah,
Nikhil.
all of them found it, right?
Yep.
So queen takes c3, exactly. And after queen takes knight e4 check, black is completely winning. So that's why Divya needs to go queen 8 and maybe queen h8 and somehow create some counterplay against the black king.
Why not Queen H4, Harshit? I had this question. Is it bad? Queen H4, idea Queen H7.
And if king g7,
No threats. You stopped all my threats and my queen is out of play.
exactly. And now black still has the idea of entering with queen c2, knight e4. This looks dangerous actually. Right, Soumya?
Mm-hmm. So Queen 8 is the only move. Otherwise, we are in trouble.
We are in trouble.
And
Divya,
so Queen 8, F5, Queen H8 you want to go, huh? And you prevent King G7 after Queen
and
8.
that's what I was hoping for, but even this is not good. As black can get knight e4 check and knight f6. And my queen is not doing anything here. So what's the point? After f5, white can play d5. Man, this is too tough.
But I love this move D5 because it's always in the air, and now that the queen is more active, this is the right moment to go for it.
And you get queen 6. But this is not, I mean, if Divya finds this, this would be epic. But if she doesn't, then she will need to defend a worse endgame for a very long time.
Absolutely. And it's not easy to go realize that after queen
No, she plays queen
8,
f4.
F5, D5, even E5, your idea is actually queen C6 and not queen H8.
Yeah, she doesn't do it, Soumya. She goes queen f4. And now black can
Allowing
improve
G5.
his position with
Allowing
g5
G5.
exactly.
But doesn't that allow queen F3, Harshit? So after G5, queen F3, I'm threatening queen H5 as well as queen 8.
But queen h5, king g7, and maybe this check won't really do a lot, I think.
My idea was to go H4 next. And after GH4, I go queen H5. And after king G7, I go queen G4. But okay, queen on C2
Is
stops all
very good,
the...
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So queen f4 and Nemec is thinking whether he should play g5 or yeah, but g5 makes sense because you also have this pin to play against.
Nemec और मेरा shirt आज matching है. It's just that you can't see me, but hair
Oh, really?
same. वो जोई वो फ्रेंड्स का एपिसोड देखा है लाइक रॉस comes wearing this really dull gray shirt, okay, and Joey is like, your fashion sense, it's really bad, what gray shirt you're wearing. And Ross looks at Joey and he's like, you're wearing the exact same shirt. And then Joey realizes that, okay, stupid friends reference.
Impressive. No, I think. Oh, by the way, G5 played. Nemec, so he's seems like he's in control here of the game. He plays G5 and gets up from his chair.
Yeah, Divya's position getting very passive here. Queen F3 or Queen G4 will be played, but it's still not creating any big threats in Black's position.
Yeah, I think it kind of started where when she played this move Knight E2. I don't know. I mean, maybe she has to play, but somehow it felt a little passive to me. But maybe
Mm-hmm.
she needs to play this. So
I think the main issue was H3, Harshit. Don't you
yeah,
feel so?
H3.
Because
Yeah.
it's so natural to play so tied up on the king side.
Yeah, G3 would have been better so that black doesn't have H4. By the way, she played a move after Queen F4, G5. She goes Queen C1. No way. No way she goes for this.
So she sacrificed a
She just
pawn.
blundered a pawn or what?
Oh, she
What?
blundered it.
Yes. Divya just
Yeah.
blundered a pawn. Look at her
Let's show
reaction.
it to
She's
the chat.
she's trying to have a poker face, but 1 second. If I take and go knight b5, are you just not losing a pawn? And look at Nemec. He's ready with his move.
Does she want to play d5 here? But then anyway, knight a3, right? d5,
Or ed5.
we anyway pick up.
And look at Divya. You can see she's giving a small expression there. She's like, what was Queen C1? Oh no, this is not good. Not good at all, actually. Because the
Yeah.
knight endgames are notorious for being very, very dangerous. Because, I mean, especially if you're down a pawn, they say that the knight endgames are the closest to king pawn endgame. So material advantage is quite significant.
Yeah. She's so upset. Nemec is so excited. Both of them have spotted it. And we are going to see it happen on the board. Are you
But
also
I'm
so
surprised.
expressive, Harshit? Like
Yeah,
Divya, yeah,
I'm
she's
not. But I'm surprised that she's giving it away, kind of, right? Because it feels as if she has missed something based on her expressions.
yeah, absolutely. Like usually you wouldn't, right? Or you'll at least get up and go for a walk if you cannot handle
Yeah,
emotions. So it's surprising that she just accepts it. Maybe she's like, okay, anyway, he's gonna find it, so let me as well show my emotions and deal with them.
but now she's back to calculating. Maybe she was just trying to motivate herself. Nemec can just take the queen on c1. And look at this. Even he was like, what? What's the point? Queen c1, knight b5. Is there a hidden trick that I'm missing?
Mhm.
Not really. Very cool hairstyle, by the way, by him.
Yeah, I was wondering if it's okay to say ask which shampoo he uses, but then I was
Yeah.
like,
Maybe he can give it to some of our friends.
my God, no comments. I'm not commenting. Hey, Gang's game that happened, F4 happened, but okay, we'll stick to this one if you like. But Gang's game is also super.
I think I'm just curious to see if he'll find this, but what, yeah, he played what? What happened there?
I mean, he's got f4 on the board. The white did not take on b4. He went back knight
Uh-huh.
e1 and f4 has happened on the board. So I really like that now black can actually pick up the h4 pawn in some situations.
Mm-hmm.
If you go knight f3, I have queen b2 over here. So it's not that easy for white to be solid.
Yeah, no, it's not easy actually. This game, I mean, Surya keeps on putting pressure on Finnick, and he's now down to his last 10 minutes of the second time control. So I think Surya's goal is to get him down to his last 1-2 minutes, and then not blundering would be a big challenge with this active queen. F4, and Finnick is still thinking. By the way, Nemec did take on C1 and go play knight B5. It has happened on the board.
Yeah, Divya has her task cut out, but it is almost losing. I mean, you are a pawn down in a knight endgame, which is as bad as a king pawn endgame usually.
Yeah.
I think Divya's best chance is to keep the a pawn and give up the d pawn so that she can stop the king side pawns with her king and keep an equal uh, battle on the queen side.
Yeah, but with more time on his clock as well, I somehow don't see a way how Divya can save this. Very difficult. I mean, unless Nemec makes a big mistake, I think we can agree that he's going to win this game, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So Nemec is winning. By the way, what about Arvind? He did go for A5. Wow.
But you know, one thing I remember which Anand said, and this is something I always tell myself when I get into a difficult knight endgame, is
Uh-huh.
that the difference between a king pawn endgame and a knight endgame is that you can always, in the end, give up the knight for the extra pawn.
Hmm.
So there are some chances always, but yes, I agree with you that it's almost like it's difficult to hold it. Oh, he went, what did he do? He went for a5?
He did. He first played King F, like he first went King F6, but then after G4 takes, he does go for your idea of A5. And he does not repeat with this knight C on knight D3.
Yeah, that's actually great. They're very brave by Arvind, and he wants to keep putting pressure on White with his knight on d3. It's such a monster there. White has to keep. White's position is a little passive only, Harshit. What do you think White can do here? Rook a6,
Hmm.
a4. What next?
I think I'll get a small chocolate to get some energy. One
Fantastic.
second.
Let's go. I'm also having protein shake.
Oh my God.
Actually, there are many advantages of keeping your camera off. You can eat on stream and it's very nice. Um, yeah, Guki drew with Vincent.
Mm-hmm.
Pawn to a5. Do you like playing endgames, Harshit?
I just love playing positions where I'm better.
As long as you're better, you're happy.
But I
But I
think I
see
like
that,
middle games more.
yeah, I see that most of your games get over in the middle game, no?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You definitely like middle games more. What about the chat? Do you like playing end games? Do you prefer middle games or do you want to crush your opponent from the opening itself? What's your take? Guys, do like the stream. Um,
Yes. Last 2 days, guys.
let's go. Let's Give a thumbs up for the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. 2.9 million subs ho gaye, Harshit. Can you believe it?
Crazy.
It's amazing. Some amazing work going on. And also, the Superheroes Cup was announced. Did you see that, Harshit?
Yes,
That's so brilliant. I remember,
very nice initiative.
absolutely. I remember back in 2021, they conducted an online event, ChessBase India, uh, for the Superheroes Cup. And this time it will be an over-the-board event in Pune. If Himank or Nehal can, yeah, Nehal is in the chat. So maybe Nehal can tell us what are the dates exactly, or I'll look it up. Just a
Mhm.
minute. It's a,
14th and 15th March.
so it's a weekend in Pune. Oh, that's amazing. People in Pune, maybe you can go and watch the games live. That would be really nice. I'm sure the players will feel so encouraged by your presence.
Yeah, and you can actually qualify for that tournament, and the qualifiers for that will be on this Sunday. So I think you can try to play that qualifying event to have a chance to play in the Super Cup. And Hans Neiman, in the meanwhile, has won his game against Antón Guijarro. So a nice win by Hans with the white pieces on his board. Arvind playing a5. This game still going on. Are there any? Oh, by the way, Divya gives up the d4 pawn as you recommended.
Yeah, b5 on the board. So you have now controlled the black pawns on the queen side because they can never move ahead. And then you maybe bring your king to e4, centralize it, and hope that it's okay. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe if we bring a knight to d6, Harshit, then we are very happy, no? But that's never
like
happened.
this.
No, as white. We have big dreams here.
But I think black wants to go e5, king e6 very quickly.
Okay.
So I think that e5, king e6 will really cement the black knight on d4 and also bring the black king closer towards the center. So for Divya, she's fighting. She's trying to, play this game until the last move and find some resources. Surya's game, oh wow. Wait, did Surya can White just pick up a pawn?
What? Knight g5 was a check. Okay, I'm just wondering why he gave up the pawn, but the last move.
Yeah, check king here, and now is this a free pawn? Because queen e5 check, it feels like you're losing material, but bishop e4 is a counter check.
And the king, oh my god, who is getting checkmated here? King h6 को क्या होगा? King h6 को
Oh,
क्या होगा, chat?
king h6, maybe king f2 now, right?
King f2, maybe rook g2. Exactly क्या खेलने वाले हैं हम? We have some options here. We have rook e3, 1. What are you going to do, guys? Let's go. At least 10 answers in the chat. At least 10.
Okay, yeah. Moshi got it, Guki Reza got it, AMK got it, OP Gamer, Shaswat,
It's Moshi
Smith
Moshi.
Vaidya, and Dead Man Walking says these commentators don't know chess.
But he's dead. No, how does his opinion count?
Knight f7 is a checkmate. So actually, after King G6, Rook G3, Finec, I think, has crawled his way back into equality. Yeah.
uh, yes, absolutely. But Finec के पास बस 4 minute बाकी है, Harshit.
Yeah.
And
Actually,
Gangs has 34 and he has this passer on the B file. So as long as he keeps the position, this game might be decided under time pressure, White's time pressure.
yeah, but I mean, I just don't see how like you can win against three pieces. Like three pieces are very dangerous. I mean, you also need to make sure that your king doesn't come under fire.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why
Actually,
maybe it's good. It's, Harshit, I'm thinking maybe it's a good idea to keep our king centralized. At least kabhi checkmate to nahi hoga.
actually, you're right. But now I've understood why he's thinking Finnish, because Rook G3, Queen C1 checks is very scary to deal with. I think this is what he's more scared about.
Oh, and king F2 runs into queen D2, picking up the bishop on D5.
Exactly. And
Oh.
that's why I think after King G6, he has not yet made his move. He's thinking.
Anish Kumar Chess says, Harshit Bhai or Soumya, which iPad do you use? I use my husband's iPad. That's what about you, Harshit? Do you use a notebook?
I don't use iPad actually. I'm somehow a laptop guy. Like I'm always on my laptop. I rarely use like, I like to use iPads or something.
Hmm.
Old schooled.
But it's useful for commentary, no? Like when you're commentating, you see the game on your laptop and you keep the chat open on the notebook or all the
No,
game.
I just have my phone.
Oh, you have a phone. Okay.
And he takes the pawn. Yeah, nice. He calculates it. He finds this move, rook takes g3, and he's not afraid of ghosts. He says that queen c1 check, I'm going to go king to e2, and I don't see how I'm going to lose my bishop on d5, which is the right conclusion by Finnick. It's tough to beat these players.
Yeah, definitely. I would, yeah, I think, I see the engine is suggesting king f5. Yeah, I'm very tempted by centralizing my king, Harshit, because why not bring it and use it as a piece in this endgame?
Yeah, but it's a bit risky, right? I mean,
It's riskier to keep it on g6.
yeah, true, true. No, you're right. You're right. Yeah, you're right. The king makes more sense for the king to be on e5, and it might even be useful to somehow bring our king towards the queen side, actually. So I agree with you. King f5 or king f6 makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So Surya has 32 minutes. He's going to now think for a while. Going back to Arvind's game, maybe in the meanwhile,
Yeah.
a5, a4, rook a6 was the last move, and both players are actually taking their time to play the moves. They want to make sure that they don't rush with their decision. Arvind, who reached the time control yesterday, rushed with his decision, and now you can see a much more mature approach by him. He's taking his time, wants to make sure he keeps everything under control.
Samir Khan in the chat says, which app or course is best for improving openings? Guys, black से improve करना है तो कारोकान course by Sagar on Chess Ranga and white से improve करना है तो हर्षित का course E4 on Chessbase. You can go to Chessbase India and buy the course. You can go to their website. It's available, I guess.
What a
So,
nice friend Soumya is.
अभी you are not doing it, Harshit. It's a great course, and also Harshit played a fantastic game in one of the lines that he recommends in the course in St. Louis just now against Opare, E4 C6.
Yeah, with two knights against Karokan. So you can first look at how Sagar recommends to play with Karokan with black, and then you can check how to play against his Karokan in my course.
Absolutely, that's a great, great strategy. That's what all the pros do. So you can also do it, Samir.
Yeah, if we can actually get the camera of Arvind, that would be great, because I think after Rook A6, he's still thinking. Down to 11 minutes now.
Yeah, and Nehal has given all the information about the Superheroes Cup in the chat. Thank you, Nehal.
Uh-huh.
So you can it's happening in Habitat in Pune, which is newly opened, and it's on 14th and 15th. So guys, do go and watch the tournament yourself. And if you're eligible to play the qualifier, you can think about playing the qualifier, which will give you a spot in the tournament. So, yes, please do that. Rook A6 on the board.
Yes, Rook A6 on the board. And
yeah, the event is only for specially abled players. Like it was in 2021, that was the first edition of the event. So, is bar second edition hoga. It's going to be a super, super special event, guys. I'll definitely follow it. You also, please do that. It will. Okay. So there are 3 categories in the event. Visually impaired players, then physically challenged players, and deaf. And yeah, absolutely. We have some amazing players. Janita Anto, by the way, is someone from my age group. I'm not sure if she's playing the tournament, but she was always a huge inspiration for me. She's physically challenged, but she's won such amazing medals for India. And I remember 2016 Olympiad, she played in the special disabled team in the Olympiad itself. And she played in the team on the top board, I guess. And it was very inspiring for me to watch her play that because I was also playing in that event. Yeah, she's always been a huge inspiration for me. So I'm sure it's going to be amazing if you can go and watch this event, guys.
yeah, I mean, actually, it kind of, whenever I look at these stories and I look at people who play at such a high level in all sports, even even though they are specially able, I mean, it just tells us that like if they can do it, I mean, what's our excuse? Yeah. So I think it's a very good motivation in all fields actually to get inspired by them. And yeah, so that's going to happen this month. So let's come back to this game. Arvind is now down to 10 minutes, Soumya, and he's somehow trying to find a way. So I think he's arguing. His argument is that I have a majority here. I have 3 pawns and you have 2 pawns.
Mm-hmm.
Your pawn on E6 is blocked. So am I not just a pawn up?
Oh, it's a great point, Harshit. So, yes, actually, it is white who has to show how he's going to defend this. Black का immediate threat क्या हो सकता है इस position में, Harshit?
I think he maybe like as we were discussing at some point, knight e5. This concept can definitely be an idea to try and capture the e6 pawn. But I am afraid that after knight e5 takes, we are going to get a lot of liquidation in the game, and this might end in a draw.
Right. We don't want to do that, to be honest.
We don't, if we want to play for a win. But that's the thing. Like, yes, I have this argument that I'm up a pawn, but the problem is that at some point white can even somehow go c4 at some point, right?
But c4 will always run into pawn into c4, rook takes, and rook e6. And black.
But bc4, knight d2 was my idea. Sneaky idea.
And what about the knight on b? चलो knight b2 नहीं मर रहा है क्या यहाँ पे? हाँ? Knight b2
Sorry?
मारते हैं check. Why not?
Check.
Oh, actually, it's not easy, huh? मुझे लगा अच्छा knight b2 check, king f5 and mate ना हो जाए मुझ पर. Oh,
So
maybe
we are
they
looking
have
at
an exchange. Oh, that's a very nice line actually.
takes, knight d2, takes, check,
King f5,
king f5,
knight
check,
e6, and I take rook
and
d6.
you take. Oh my goodness, this would be epic.
Yeah, and definitely black is the one playing for a win, no?
Well, you can give a check and you take this. Yeah, you cannot take, sorry.
Rook h5 you can take, rook h5.
Then this pawn.
Oh
Very
my
exciting actually. So rook a6
God.
and Arvind can, I mean, get some chances here, but he only has 6.5 minutes on his clock.
So you're suggesting h5, which I really like, Harshit. You suggested h5 here, an improving move. As you're showing on the board, h4 will be in the air in case the knight moves from f3 at any point. Otherwise, we're just making a waiting move that improves our position slightly and ask white, what is he doing next?
Yeah, I
So
think h5.
let's see some positions. Let's see some options for white, Harshit, after h5. Like I cannot move my rook from the second
It
rank
goes b4.
because before. Oh, very direct.
So if I
I'll take back.
take and
Acha.
take on a4. Okay, this is I think he's after b4, I guess he's fine with the draw, yeah. Or
But
does he want to take with a c pawn?
what if I take with the c pawn?
Takes, but I don't see how black can ever lose this. White can ever lose this, yeah. Just rook d2, there is knight e1, so I shouldn't blunder that.
But you cannot take rook e6 also because then knight b2 will always be annoying, no? Or it's
But
okay.
yeah, it's slightly annoying, but I can go rook c2, for example.
Ah.
And also even rook e6, king e6, now knight b2, the problem is the b4 pawn is under attack. So I do think that the drawing margin for white is quite big.
Hmm.
Let's look at the player's reaction. That's my favorite thing to do because we can tell a lot by the way their facial expressions.
Mm-hmm.
So Arvind is like, b4, okay, and Jordan is like, 1 second. If I take rook a4, what's the point? Arvind is like, okay, I have something.
Yeah. b4 very committal, no? Very committal by Arvind. C into
And he
b4 take.
takes.
And let's see if he takes back with the
Yeah,
the
take with a
pawn.
c pawn.
So he loves his knight on d3. He's going to keep it there forever. And but yeah,
And you
काफी.
know, when I was playing this tournament, Samya,
Hmm?
very often after my game, I used to be one of the spectators there
Ah.
and just be inside the playing hall and try to guess the players' moves.
Which year did you
But
play, Ashit?
I played 20 long back, I think 2022 or something like this.
Mm-hmm. Just after the lockdown.
Yeah. And I really like Prague actually. I enjoy being in that city a lot.
What's your favorite memory of the city?
uh just to be able, like, this was definitely very nice, like to be able to be inside that playing hall and guess the moves. And in terms of the city, like it's very walkable. Like I used to go in that main square and they have this like old uh clock there, very
Hmm.
very touristic place, and then there is this bridge on which you can walk and you can see
Hmm.
some beautiful castle
Charles.
on
Charles.
Charles Bridge.
Hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah, you saw
So
all that. Then you went for a, you used to go for a walk.
yeah, I used to go for a walk with some of my friends in the evening to just rewind and relax. Like I am someone who always, played chess much better when there was also this social aspect involved. Like
Hmm.
I never liked being extremely serious and focused, and I mean that was never really my thing. And maybe that's why I never became a top player.
No, but you are an amazing player. You're a grandmaster. So I think it depends on the inherent personality of the
Yeah.
player. It's there's no right or wrong, and it depends on what works for you. Um, yeah, I think Surya
Oh,
is also okay. Some moves have been made. Yes,
no,
let's.
Divya's opponent made a mistake apparently.
Oh my God.
Wow. Wow. So this is the live position, like knight b2 and knight c4 to bring the knight to d6. The idea that you mentioned at some point was the
No.
best way to play,
Mhm.
but he played king f5 and Divya has drawing chances now.
You know, Harshit, I imagined this pawn structure in my mind, and I thought it's really silly to actually say it out loud that this might give white drawing chances because I was like, obviously, the two pawns in the center are going to overpower the pawn on the h5, but it seems it's enough.
Yeah, but I'll also say this, that even though I mean it's still, by the way, -1, and
Mhm.
even though this might be you know, drawable for the engines. Practically, it's very difficult to still play this with white.
Yeah, and the connected pawns in the center are a menace. If you push h5, you lose it immediately after king g5, so that's not an option.
Yeah.
Knight c8, knight c8 does not threaten anything, but yeah, after king g4, you actually lose the
So you
h4.
have to go king g3. That's the only move. So Divya should play king g3 immediately right now and just ask black, what's your plan? The only moves. So in this position, she needs to somehow use the clock in her advantage. Play king g3 fast and ask black, what do you want to do? Because it's the only move, right? You cannot play anything else. King g4 is coming. Yes, no, maybe. Samya, maybe. Or internet. Uh-huh. Okay, but she'll be back, hopefully. So king g3 has to be played by Divya. It's just me now, guys, for some time. By the way, any moves played by Divya? Not yet. Very interesting day here, guys. Gukesh drew his game against Vincent. India defeated England in the semi-finals. That was definitely the highlight. Arvind is around equal. Divya is actually in a slightly difficult position, and Surya's game is going on, but his opponent very close to holding a draw. 7 minutes for Divya now. And she needs to have a positive attitude about this position. She needs to believe that she can save this. I was talking about this yesterday. This inherent belief to save difficult positions. That's what makes you a very strong defender. King G3, Divya. One best move at a time. Not yet. Obviously, the players are getting slightly tired here. It's the eighth round, already more than 4.5 hours into the game. 5 minutes for her now. Just to quickly check if there are any developments on the game of Arvind. And actually, yes, Arvind's game is heading towards some sort of a draw as rook takes e6 and a lot of material is being exchanged. Surya's game, oh my god, this is crazy. But I think that uh we have some sort of a drawn setup. Um, a fortress, that's the word. White has a fortress because the knight protects the rook on h3, the rook protects this bishop, and I don't see how black can like push any of his pawns. So this game is going to end in a draw. Very nice defense by Finek. Creative play by Surya, but it was not enough to beat the young prodigy from Czech, which means that Divya's game is going to be and very important for her to play king g3 to have any chances left. Maybe we can switch back to Divya's game. Yeah, I don't like this though. I don't like that she has not played king g3 very quickly. Because what else can you do? You have to stop king g4, right? And she plays it. Nice. Let's go. Very good. King g3. That was the best move in the position. And what does Nemec want now? He's about to play a move. I guess he wants to go knight c3. Yes. Yes, he plays knight c3. But now knight c8. Divya can play knight c8 now simply, and she plays it. If Divya manages to save this game, this is going to be huge in terms of her confidence towards the candidates, because this shows resilience to not give up in this pawn down knight endgame and still look for chances. She does play knight c8. Fantastic. If you take the pawn on b5, white takes the pawn on b6, and with an outside pawn and very little material left on the board, she has very good chances there. I Today I was not reading the chat so much, guys, because I was trying to focus a bit more um, on the chess, but now I have my eyes on the chat. And he goes knight d5. Nemec goes knight d5. It's not yet a draw. She still needs to be precise. But I guess knight d6 check, and then placing the knight on c4 would be a good idea. You have to move your knight, right? You cannot allow your knight to get trapped on c8. Divya, you need to go knight d6 check. Let's go. Vamos. Four minutes for her. No, guys, Divya cannot win. She's down a pawn in a knight endgame. But a draw in this pawn down knight endgame is worth winning almost, because you just save half a point. Well, from this position, that's the best she can get anyway. You can see the clock ticking down to less than 4 minutes now. And you can see how fast a player is calculating by how their eyes move. And you can see how fast Divya is calculating here, and then she looks at the clock, looks back at the board. His opponent gets some water, but now knight d6 check. Yes, very nice. Very nice by Divya. She's rerouting her knight to c4, which is this square, so that it can put pressure on the pawn on b6. That's her idea. Welcome back, Soumya.
You can see me, I can't see you. In 1 minute.
While Soumya tries to come back, Divya gave knight d6 check, and Nemec has a decision whether to go to e6 or to go to g6. Divya is ready with her pen to write down the move. She doesn't want to spend even a single second to waste so that she can conserve her time. He's about to play a move and he goes king e6. And knight c4, I'm sure, will be played very quickly so that she keeps an eye on the b6 pawn. And yes, she just makes sure she's not missing anything and goes knight c4. I like that. I like that approach by her. She knows knight c4 is the best move, but she just wants to make sure that she is not blundering anything. And after 10 seconds, she plays the move knight c4. Very nice. Very nice. And she's closer than ever to a draw now. In the meanwhile, just to update what's happening on Arvind's board, well, it's rook knight 2 pawns versus rook knight 2 pawns. So I imagine this game to end in a draw, but only 2 minutes left for Jorden. So maybe we can quickly have a look at this game as well. King e4, and Arvind wants to threaten knight to f4 check and invade with his other rook. The last few moments are always intense. Jorden is down to less than 2 minutes now. Some pressure on him. Knight f4 check and rook d3 is what Arvind is banking on. If king g3, yeah, maybe king g3 is the best move. Because if knight f4 now, that would be a huge mistake because of rook to e5. And you lose the knight. So after king e4, I think king g3 is the safest way for Jorden to play here. I think it's the easiest way to draw, to play king g3. Yeah, not yet. He has not made his decision yet. But if he plays king g3, then I think we'll go back to Divya's game. Let's see what he plays here. Jorden with 50 seconds. Yeah, he plays king g3. Yeah, he plays king g3, guys. So this game is very likely going to end in a draw. Let's go back to Divya's game. As we have some moves, king g3, knight c3, knight c8, check, king e6, knight c4 we saw up until this point. Nemec pushed f5. Divya again found the only move pawn to h5 to create counterplay. And this is the live position. Maybe we can get Divya's camera back because she is doing a fantastic job of saving this knight endgame. So can we get, yes, there we have it. Pawn to h5. So the point is that you are going to use this pawn to distract the king. So what I mean by this is, let's say e4, h6, trying to promote king to f6. And maybe now you can play knight d6, because if something like king g6, you can simply capture the pawn on f5 and you use the pawn on h6 as bait to capture the pawn on f5. And if f4, king g4, and now king g6, then you can win the e4 pawn. If e3, then knight f5, king g6. Okay, this one is not so easy to understand actually. We can play king f3 back because black cannot take the knight on f5, and somehow this position is some sort of a fortress, because if you take the knight, pawn promotes. If you go back, then yeah, this is not easy actually. Knight d4, and the engine says this is a draw, but to understand that you can be down 2 pawns and still draw. I mean, let's see if Divya can find this. This would be an insane defense by her. I'm very curious to know if Divya thinks this is a draw or not. Yeah, unfortunately, Soumya has some internet problems, so she's trying to join us. And it seems like David Navara blundered. Can we just look at that? What happened here? Oh my God, it was completely equal. I cannot believe this. It was rook, bishop, and opposite colored endgame. And David Navara played g4 here. How? Oh, he just forgot that after king d5, if the rook goes back to c8, bishop c5, and he loses the bishop. A huge blunder by David Navara. He could have simply played something like king to f3 or even king to h3, and this is completely equal. But he instead chose g4, king d5, rook c3, king d4, and after rook c6, bishop c5, he just lost a piece and is completely losing now. So a very big gift to Nodirbek.
Giving me a mini heart attack, and then he says, "Great win for India." I'm not sure. I mean, partly he's talking about cricket and partly about some game here. I'm not
Oh,
sure
guys,
which
is
one.
the audio working? Producer, can you just check if the audio is working?
I can hear you.
But can the chat hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Great. Perfect. Perfecto.
So rook f4 on the board.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely play on with a lot of optimism as black in this position because my king is nearer to your pawn on b3 and my pawn is so much advanced on b4. My knight is great. My rook is defending the pawn on b4, doing a good job. So I'll be very optimistic as black here.
So king e3 is what you want to start with, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, king e3.
Then
Also, we
king d.
threaten knight e2 check, right? So that's also something white needs to be careful about.
King d3 also looks good, Harshit, because king d3, I'm threatening king c2 or king c3 on the next move.
Played. Played.
Oh, he played king d3. Okay.
And maybe you're right. Yeah, it's not so easy to defend this, perhaps.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand why is it equal? Like, what could be the move? Rook c4. I see the
Knight
engine likes it,
b3,
but knight
and then
b3.
knight e5, knight c6. Okay, that's not easy to see.
Ah, that's tough. Yes, and he has 4 minutes only. He is also under some pressure here.
Check. And the drawing line, guys, is knight c6, and now you win the b4 pawn. Yes.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that
By
was
the way,
very good.
knight e5 check.
King c2,
Check.
king b2. Am I blundering something? And then knight c6. And then knight c6, right? But then
That
king
was
knight
my idea.
d3. We have knight
No.
d3 in the end. Or knight.
Yeah, but oh wow, look at this line, Soumya.
Mm-hmm,
Knight
mm-hmm,
e5,
mm-hmm,
king c3, rook check, king
mm-hmm.
b2, knight c6, knight d3. I play simply rook d4. Because if you go king c3, I give a check back. You cannot take because knight a5 check.
ओए बढ़िया ट्रैप है
So
आई मीन
maybe
ट्रैप
this
नहीं है बट बढ़िया लाइन है
बढ़िया line hai, but now Jordan actually needs to be slightly careful. In the meanwhile, Divya is finding the right moves. Crazy. Completely crazy defense by Divya.
what happened oh she managed to not only get some chances she equalized completely huh
Yes, you won't believe this. Look, she is down like king g4, e3,
Yes.
and in some of the lines she has to give up both of the pawns, but somehow this is some sort of a fortress.
Wow, are you serious? How
It's
is this a
crazy.
fortress? Knight c4 also doesn't make sense.
No, knight f5 here,
Knight f5. Okay, we are
king
not giving up the
h7,
pawn. Hmm.
knight d4, and now the
King
point is king h6. You
six.
have some king if crazy line, and now you just pick up the pawns.
Wow.
Yeah, let's see if I mean this won't be easy for her to find.
बट इतना
But
दूर आ गई तो दिल्ली अभी दूर नहीं है ना
exactly.
इतना वो पोजीशन से यहाँ पे आ गई वो वाह बढ़िया है बिग एफर्ट f4 king
King
g4
g4.
is very natural
Yes.
and then actually king e5 is also a move because h7 knight f6 we have
Yeah, but king g4, king e5, knight c4 check.
sneaky
Tricky, tricky.
absolutely oh that's very nice Harshit can we show that after king knight c4 if we go back king
White is
f6
winning. Oh my
oh,
God, knight e8.
oh my god oh my
What
god
a line. What a line. And White is winning this. Okay, okay. Well, I think we should not get carried away because this is not going to happen.
could have happened in my game but not in Divya's game probably anyway king g4
Two
king
minutes.
g4 I guess yeah
Divya, come on, king g4.
like definitely king g4 right like why would you go back king f2 here there is no reason
I
to go
agree.
back here
I agree. I think king g4 should be played.
hmm
I think, and I was talking about how defending this was going to be huge for her confidence for the event that she is playing in 3 weeks at the candidates. To defend this worst position for sure gives her a lot of hope in her resilience.
Yeah, definitely. I think, Ramesh sir, he always says this in the camp that in the next tournament, you should be able to convert at least one completely equal position into a full point and defend at least one completely worse position in a draw. And then I'll agree that you're a good player. So it's a sign of being a strong player, yeah, to be able to
Yeah,
defend
e3,
such
king
tough
f3 back.
positions.
She's doing it. She's doing it. Divya might play knight f5 knight, and look at her facial reaction. I think she has found it.
Hmm?
Look at
Yeah, she
this.
seems super relaxed suddenly.
He's like, क्या ही बचा लिया यार आज तो मजा ही आ गया.
Yeah, her body language has changed completely. And look at her opponent. He is quite frustrated there.
And Jorden blundered? What? 1 second.
Let's go.
What? 1 second, guys. What a turnaround.
आज इंडिया का दिन है हर्षित.
No, guys. तुम क्या बोल रहे हो?
ऐसे ही हमने को.
Oh no, they're right. They're right. Oh
What?
my goodness. Arvind did
King
not
H.
win a completely winning position yesterday. He now might get some of that, missed
back.
luck. Yeah.
Do you think what is King H4? Let's see.
Oh
What happened?
no. He did not find it.
What happened?
It was like he had to go after King H4, King to E3, Soumya, and pick up the pawn, but he did not do it. And now it's equal again.
What did he do instead?
Like here, if he played knight, king e3 and pick up the pawn, it was good. He played knight e2 first, rook f5, knight c3, but I don't understand this. The knight was attacking the b3 pawn and Arvind moves it away.
I feel I don't understand chess. Why wasn't knight into b3 possible in that position? Harshit, instead of knight e2.
You could have just taken it.
It was hanging. I don't
Free
get
pawn.
it.
Yes. No, it's very strange, the last sequence of moves.
Is there a transmission error? Like, I don't understand why would he go knight e2 and not knight takes b3? But maybe I just don't understand chess that well.
No, you are right. It was a free pawn. It was rook h6 now.
Very strange decisions there. King g3, rook h6. Idea rook h1, rook b1, huh? Maybe.
Idea also knight e2, knight f4.
In his game against Guki, it was his knights who did the job for him. And today also this knight dominating. But will it be enough is the question.
No, he missed an opportunity again, Soumya, in this game. He had a big one, if the transmission is correct. Which I think it is.
Some inexplicable decision making here, Harshit. Because yes, king e3 gives a big advantage. But picking up the pawn also made a lot of sense. And neither of those two moves were chosen.
And draw
Okay, knight.
agreed. And a draw was agreed. So, I mean, Jorden definitely slips away from a defeat here. If Arvind had found king e3 and knight takes b3, yeah, I mean, overall, a very high quality game by both players, but Arvind for sure is going to kick himself for not finding this move.
Yeah.
Arvind?
Yeah, definitely.
Tough.
Missed opportunity.
And Divya's game has the only move for her. Only move knight f5.
She's very likely to find it, Harshit.
And she plays it, yaar. Let's go, Divya. Can we get her camera? One time.
Divya is so good with these tactics, like these small combinations she never misses.
Brillante.
Knight f5 on the board.
It's not a free knight, guys. It's not a free knight because the h-pawn is just queening. And that's why you kind of have to make a waiting move. And then knight d4, king e4, and the knight has to draw. The king is too far away. Divya has defended this.
And the knight also comes back in some variations, like this knight c3.
What? Can someone
What happened? What happened?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a draw, right?
Can we go back a few moves so that we know what was the sequence of moves in the end?
No, there is like the right move was.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a draw.
Okay. Okay. Got
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
What? Okay, I mean, yeah, I would be surprised if that game was not a draw, to be honest. Um,
So maybe all the
so
lines we saw also didn't happen, right? Like maybe entirely a transmission error. Because I see that the rook is on b7, and in our lines the rook was coming to h6, no?
yeah, okay, I will just confirm. Actually, Himank is there. Something very, very weird happened. Um, Let me check. I'll just give me 1 second. I'll tell you what happened.
All right, we can check with Abu there. Do you want to go back a few moves, Harshit, in this game? Because whatever lines we saw, they
Did
actually
you
didn't
lose?
happen.
Yeah, just 1 second. Yeah, 1 second. I'm checking. Can you like?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think Jordan drew his game, but okay, we'll get confirmation on that soon. We'll go to Divya's board in the meanwhile until we know what's happening. And man, she found it. This is the live position, Soumya. Unbelievable. What a defense by Divya. Too good.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it was a
fantastic.
draw for sure. Yeah, it was a draw.
Also, Arvind's game was a draw, and many of the lines we saw actually didn't happen because there was a transmission error. So,
Mhm. What?
what? Arvind won? Oh, we are
No
going to
way.
receive the last move soon.
Arvind won?
Okay.
Oh my God. Guys, we have news that Arvind won his game
So the
from
tournament is
Abudaya.
wide open.
And this means that Abdusattorov Nodirbek is in sole lead. Okay, let's just see the end of this game first. Divya, let's not take anything away from her, who defended in a fantastic fashion to draw this game, and then we'll come back to Arvind's game. She's going to take the pawn on e.
So knight
Yeah, it
f3
might
also
be
does the
losing
job.
actually. Yeah, you should just go knight c2.
Knight f3?
Yeah, taking is losing. Knight c2 or knight f3 is draw. Yeah, no need to play fancy chess, just knight c2 back. And if knight b5, then we
King
play king
e3.
e3, knight c3, king d2 back. And the knight has to move, pick up the pawn, and we sacrifice our knight for the last remaining pawn. But man, Arvind winning is a huge result.
Yeah,
Huge
absolutely. But
result for him.
we'll wait for the game, right? And yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely,
we'll
Harshit.
wait for this game. We'll wait for this game to be over. As Divya is just a few moves away from drawing this game and continuing a good tournament. A loss here would have actually put her tournament in jeopardy in terms of how she was playing. So
Mhm.
I think a draw is a very important save for her. He goes king g6, king e3, and I think he knows it. Look at this. He's shaking his head there, Nemec. He's like, how did I let Divya escape here?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, great save by Divya. And Knight c2 on the board.
King
This
d2.
game is going to get over super soon.
Yeah.
Surya, by the way, drew his game as well. So
Yeah.
we have had, we'll see 3 draws and 1 win, I
And
guess.
one win from what we are hearing.
It's fantastic if Arvind won that game. It's
Yeah, but
amazing.
like with what happened yesterday, I think he kind of deserves. I mean, I don't know if, but I think it's kind of fair that he kind of did not win such a winning position yesterday, that he was able to get some of that luck back. Yeah,
So
as
do
you
you
said.
think luck compensates in tournaments? It's a Harshit. Like many
I
people talk
mean,
about this, right?
I don't think it does in the same tournament for everyone, but it seems like for Arvind it's going to be the case. And actually she's going to the king pawn endgame here. She takes the pawn, and of course this famous position where even if you lose the pawn, very very important to get opposition. And this is all of this is happening. King d2, and Nemec cannot believe it, and draw agreed. And look at
Oh,
this. It's like and Divya is like, bach gaye.
yeah.
No, but nice save, yeah, by Divya. I think she definitely deserves uh,
Yeah.
a big kudos to be a pawn down and still have a positive attitude and be resilient. And now let's understand what happened in Arvind's game. Guys, can someone tell us what happened?
Do we have? Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Yeah, King e3.
King
Mm-hmm. Yes.
rook
Uh-huh.
b6.
Uh-huh.
Knight a2.
Okay. Okay.
Ooh.
Oh my God. Oh my God, guys. And Arvind won because of King g5, Rook h3, Knight e4 is checkmate. Like Knight e1 or Knight g1, Knight e4 is a checkmate. So that's
He's fantastic
played
with
King
these
g3
tactics.
and Knight e2, and we saw this line that King g2, Knight f4.
Oh my God, this is amazing. Let's show it on the board. King g2, knight f4, king g3. We still keep supporting the knight, and that's a checkmate on the
It's
board. This
checkmate,
is
and
beautiful.
this is a huge shock for Jordan, who was playing a flawless tournament up until this point. He was the sole leader, and he could have, it was a completely equal position. We were talking about how this game most likely is going to end in a draw, but Arvind kept on playing, and finally Jordan earned in this tournament, who looked invincible for the majority of this tournament. And now it's wide open, as you said, as Nodirbek Abdusattorov takes the sole lead. Arvind goes to +1.
Yeah, absolutely. Stunning game by Arvind. And I think this end game, it was quite easy to lose for white, to be honest, Harshit. मतलब engine को देखकर समझ में आ रहा था कि equal है, पर board पे तो मुझे बिल्कुल comfortable नहीं लग रहा था white का position, because the king is so active, the knight is active, pawn is advanced. Yeah, it's quite natural for me that white found it tough to defend it.
Defend. Yeah, you were right. And which means that all the games have concluded now. Arvind was the only winner out of all the Indian players. The rest of them drew. Gukesh with Vincent. Surya drew his game against Finek. And Divya just drawing a very difficult night end game against Nemec. And I think overall this turned out to be quite a good day, because we were in trouble on Divya's board. Arvind's game was not looking very promising. I mean, he was never in trouble, but we weren't sure if he'll win. He managed to win this, and India also won in the semifinals. We got to comment it together. We had a fun time. A lot of people tuned in. So I think we are all set for the finale tomorrow. Yeah, Soumya?
Yeah, absolutely, Harshit. Great day today. Lots to cheer for. My highlight was definitely commentating with you. Are you joining tomorrow as well, Harshit? It will
Yes,
be 3 a.m. for you. Are you planning to?
oh, no, no, no. I'm not planning to join in that case.
I'm not sure actually what time it will be for you, but it will be in the middle of the night. But maybe you can wake up and join us at some point.
Yes, if it's 6, 7 a.m. it's okay, but I think 3 a.m. will be a bit too difficult for me. But anyways, tomorrow will be a very exciting day. Last day at Prague, guys. Do tune in. Soumya is going to be there for sure. I think Sagar and Amruta might also try to join tomorrow. So maza hai aaj. Thanks to the producer Bhai for helping us out, making it very easy for all of you. And I think we can sign off now.
All right. Yeah, there's one last thing, Harshit, that we can announce. So we were
Yes.
talking about the Superheroes Cup tournament that's going to happen on 14th and 15th of March in Pune
Mhm.
at Habitat. So that's the venue. And the format is a 16-player knockout, 2 games each,
Mhm.
15 minutes plus 30 seconds for per move. And if tied, then there'll be an Armageddon.
Oh, wow.
It's
Exciting.
super, yeah, super exciting, super exciting. And I would also like to read out the participants' names. Uh, there's, I think it's according to their seeding,
Hmm.
the list that we have. So the top seed is Kishan Ganguly, who's visually impaired and he has a rating of 2066. And I think Kishan has won the national championship for the blind many times. And he's
Yeah, very
also
strong player. Very strong player. Kishan Ganguly. I think he's one of the favorites to win this tournament.
Then the second seed is Darpan Inani, who I believe is also a CA and he's visually impaired. His rating is 1991.
Hmm.
Then there's the third seed is Aryan Joshi, who's also visually impaired, 1986. Someone I used to know quite well when he was a kid. He's an excellent swimmer as well, Aryan. So I'm very excited to see him play this tournament. Then there is Somender BL, who's the fourth seed. He's also visually impaired, 1896 rating. The fifth seed is Megha Chakraborty. Uh, I know Megha as well. Megha is visually impaired, 1636, and she did really well in the previous edition of the tournament. I remember that. Then the sixth seed is Ved Neeraj 4, who's visually impaired with a rating of 1656. Seventh is, seventh, who's the seventh seed, Oh, I guess it's not according to rating, but the seeding that I'm reading out because the seventh seed. It's a different category. Okay, okay. So in this tournament, there are three categories. One is the visually impaired category. So these were the players in that category. Then the other category is the physically challenged category, where the top seed is International Master Shashikant Kutwar.
Oh, wow.
Well, I know him from my childhood because he is very close to Amruta. And so he was a very good friend of Prathamesh actually when we were growing up. So he has a rating of 2207.
Very strong.
Then, yeah, he's super strong. And then there is FM. The second seed is an FM, Venkata Krishna Karthik. It's fantastic. He's physically challenged and has a rating of 1934.
Hmm.
Oh, and he's the winner of the previous edition, Venkata Krishna Karthik.
Hmm.
The third seed is again someone I know really well. I once shared an apartment with him when he was a kid and his parents. CM Samarth Rao. He's physically challenged 1907. I remember he played the Commonwealth Open many, many years ago in 2013 where we met, and he's a very strong chess player. So I'm excited to see him play in this tournament. The fourth seed in this event is Shankar Ramakrishnan, physically challenged 1785. Fifth seed is Rachel Sharon, physically challenged 1601. And seventh seed is Indian Gopinath. in this category, 1492.
Mhm.
Amazing, na, Harshit?
Yeah, very nice. Very strong
Oh,
field.
all of them are rated. And then there is a deaf and mute category, which is the third category. There is Darshan Shirsagar, 1938 rating. He's the top seed of the event. The second one is Vivek Vatpade, 1693, who's deaf. And the third seed is Devendra Vaidya, who's deaf, and his rating is 1711. So I guess थोड़ा सीडिंग ऊपर नीचे है. बहुत बहुत अच्छा, बहुत ही बढ़िया टूर्नामेंट होने वाला है.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it gives them a good opportunity to also, come in the limelight to, we can kind of appreciate how well they have done. And I guess there are also lucrative prizes that they are playing for. I think Samay has sponsored this event, so very, very nice of him. I think also Habitat by Balraj, by the gentleman who gave the venue. So very nice initiative by all of them. And I think it will be very exciting to follow that event for sure.
Yeah, Harshit, I'm definitely excited. I hope chat will also follow it. And this was an amazing stream. Harshit, thank you so much. Thank you, chat,
Yeah,
for
we had
being with
fun.
us.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.